Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. We're so excited to talk about Yellowjackets season 3.
It's over.
Um, it's
I'm
over.
Katie.
I'm Kimberly, and we host a podcast called A Date with Dateline. And this is our YouTube channel. And our side obsession is Yellowjackets. Our first
Yeah.
obsession will always be Dateline. We look so funny because I have crazy red string wall and antlers, and you
Mhm.
look like a sophisticated, like you're about to do an actor's studio interview.
The
Um,
turtleneck,
yeah,
the Steve Jobs, ye old Steve
yeah.
Jobs. Yeah,
And I
it'll
look
do
like a
that.
crazy super fan person who's
I'm
like
also a super fan.
cosplaying.
I'm packing my house, so this is the best that can happen right now.
You look
Um,
great.
I just finished you look great. Those antlers are something. I just finished the episodes, as in
I'm
just finished.
so glad you finished in time. I was very worried.
I watch very fast though. I was able to
I
get
know.
through it a couple times, so I'm sure I still miss stuff, but
Okay, I know because I was just rewatching and I caught some stuff that I hadn't caught the first time.
oh, good.
So, okay, what thoughts? Do you have any first thoughts you wanna get off your chest? First of all, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. If you have not
Oh,
seen this season or
you have to
any
get out of here.
seasons,
You shouldn't be
you
here.
have to get out of here.
This isn't safe
And
for you.
this is
This is not
this
safe. You need to
this is
leave.
this is not a safe place,
Yeah.
and, I'm gonna put a ticker. Spoiler alert, spoiler.
There you go.
So, please, go. I appreciate you wanting to come and check out our channel, but come
Yeah.
back when you've watched the show because it drives me crazy that I'm spoiling things for people.
Yeah. Kimberly can't emotionally handle it.
I can't emotionally handle it. I really can't. It, like, really gives me the itches.
What are your thoughts? You start. What do you think? What's your overarching feeling?
Okay, I really enjoyed it. I
The
was
final
frustrated
episodes or the season?
the final couple episodes. It was a wild ride, a fever dream. Um, some things I was like, why are they doing that? But
Okay.
actually, I really like, Shauna's descent. We're getting her villain origin story, and now she's gonna be full villain
Right.
with Taissa and Misty trying to take her down in the adult timeline, and I love that. Um,
Well, and Melissa trying to take her
and
down.
Melissa,
So will they
um,
link up is a question.
well, I think they will. I think it'll all come to a head. Um, I really liked the reveal of who killed Lottie. Um, I thought that scene was
I was right. I was stoked
you were
about that. I was very
you were right.
happy. Yeah.
Uh,
I was pretty
and
convinced by the time we got to these 2 episodes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Did you remember about mitochondrial DNA? The mother sharing. We host Dateline for a living. I had
No,
forgotten
the DNA
about
part
that.
didn't even occur to me. They just kept focusing on her. And I was like, this is the only place I can see her storyline going. Like,
Yeah,
writer-wise, that's the only place I saw was like,
yeah.
she killed Lottie. That's
And we
why
had
we
talked
keep
about
getting her.
that last time, how important she was gonna be to the wilderness because she was the one child of the wilderness, and then we had
Yeah.
talked about that last time, and then that's what Lottie said, like, "I've been waiting for
Oh,
you." It was
did that
you.
pay
Like,
off?
I thought so.
Okay.
You're I mean, she sounded unhinged. She's like, "They took our baby. They gave us you."
Yeah. I don't know if I feel like I wanted a little more explanation before Lottie went down the stairs.
Yeah,
Although
I think Lottie knew it was her time, and she had envisioned this, like, she had that
okay,
vision in the wilderness of walking up those stairs. So,
right.
I think so she for 25 years, she's like, "That this is how I'm gonna go," and then when she walked out of the stairwell and saw Callie, she was like, "It's you. Like,
Yeah,
you're gonna be the one." And I thought that was good. I liked that.
but her and Lottie had spent a lot of time talking, like, while she drugged Misty, and we never found out what they talked about. We never found out what questions were asked. We
I
never got
know.
any of that, and that's what I was like, I thought it was gonna be more like a destiny thing where it's like, "You have to kill me
Yeah,
to I am the sacrifice that is going to end up saving your mom." I thought it was going to be something in that vein, and they did not
right.
do that. Maybe that's coming later
Also, who did it save? Lottie's death did not save really anyone,
because it's not
and
real. I think that
'cause
might be
it's
also
not
what they're
real.
trying to tell us, that this whole
Well,
thing is not this sacrifice thing is not accurate.
that's what I can't wait to ask our guests is do are they team supernatural or are they team
Trauma?
mass hysteria, trauma,
Trauma.
uh, coincident, logical explanation, gas poisoning?
Feels like they're trying to lead us towards trauma in this final episode specifically, that they're trying to especially with Shauna, like, everybody sort of feeling the weight of this burden all at once, that feels like it's
Mhm,
a trauma. Am I right?
mhm.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
What do you think? Well, no, I'll wait for you
I
to the end. I'm not sure still.
I want it to be team supernatural,
Mhm.
but I'm worried I'm gonna be wrong, and it's team delusion, all logical coincident, and trauma. But speaking of trauma, like, I don't think that it's all trauma with Shauna. I think she's always been, like, a narcissist, like, person who wants to blow things up and a perpetual victim that won't speak her mind, but then complains about it when people walk all over her, and, like, I think
Okay.
she is now, like, unleashing that, and I don't know if they're trying to get at, like, we are all primitive beings who will just kill to survive or for bloodlust, like,
Okay.
are we all is that just in all of us? Like, and she's the one that's most tapped into it, or is she different from the others? Because Van cannot bring herself to be like that. Like, Van keeps trying even in the teen years to, like, be like that, and then she can't. And even when she has the chance to kill Melissa, she can't do it. And she, like, still has this humanity, and she won't let Taissa kill somebody for her as an
Right.
adult, you know?
Right.
She just won't she's letting go letting the frog go from the jar, like, that's her. She's just not a killer.
Yeah, that's just not in her nature. So maybe it's more about I don't know, because it doesn't seem like they all have that same instinct as Shauna
No.
does. But Shauna says very specifically something that I think is very important, which is that we were having fun.
Yeah.
I don't that was an interesting thing that Shauna was writing. Is Shauna is writing like they all shared that experience, and I do not think that is correct. I think Shauna had that, and that's what, like she's gonna have to say that out loud to someone so they can be like, "No."
What?
Like,
Like, we were not having fun.
Misty even has very different reasons for breaking the black box, right? It's not
Yeah.
so much fun, it's like this desperation to be needed and to have friends, but I would not say it was Shauna uses the word fun.
No, I think she was having fun. And then
Yeah.
she became, like, in her mind, like, a boring housewife. She took over Jackie's life, you know, and she was a queen out there, and she said, "And, you know, our people we called our friends." Like, no, they were your friends. You just didn't, like, treat them like friends. You She was, like, evil. Like, when Mari picked the queen and she's like, "Tough break, Mar." Like, she was really enjoying it. She was enjoying it. When Lottie killed the first bird guy, the toad guy,
Yeah.
she was, like, giddy with excitement, like a full-on sociopath,
You know,
and the others weren't.
I don't know a lot about, um I don't think I can say a lot about specific disorders, but something about Shauna feels like 2 Shaunas. Something about her feels like the amount of horrific things that happened in a row with Jackie, followed by Baby, followed
Baby.
by the guilt of what she was doing to Jack sort of all of
Mhm.
that stuff all in a row,
Yeah,
feels like something split, and we are
interesting.
getting Shauna, but not Shauna. Does that
Bad
make
Shauna
sense?
and bad Ty, good Ty
Kind
and
of.
bad Shauna.
Yeah, like that there is a bad tie aspect to Shauna as well, but it's just more it's different. It's not a physical yeah, Ty's got s yeah. I am so sad about Van, I gotta say. I
I
was
know.
bummed.
I was sad about Van, especially because when Shauna shot at Melissa and Melissa peed her pants, it was a very small moment. She
Yeah,
looks down and she peed her pants.
yeah,
Van, like, pulls up a towel to cover her pants
yeah.
in this, like, act of kindness, and then as an adult, Melissa killed her. And I couldn't understand why Melissa did that, and I was like, "Why does she want to do that?" But then watching the last episode and she had the chance to kill Shauna, but she didn't have the guts to do it, she backed off, and I think that's what it's kind of about as an adult. She's like, "I couldn't do it back then, but I want to be like that, so now I'm
No, but
doing
then
it."
she says, "But I am like that because Van says,
No,
"I
she says,
always
"I
wanted."
want to be." Van says, "I don't wanna be like that," and Melissa
Mm,
says, "But I do." And then she does it.
ooh.
It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
sad.
I just didn't like it. I wish it had been someone else. I didn't really want any of the mains to die except maybe Shauna, to be honest.
Yeah, we're all
Um,
fine with Shauna. We all are mad at Shauna and think but she is an interesting character. She's
she
frustrating.
is. I would just be more interested with what's going on with Misty um,
Walter?
and Walt what do I s what I wanted to say Howard. With Misty and Walter right now. I would rather follow them as closely as we're following Jeff and Callie. I would rather follow Misty and
Yeah.
Walter for a bit. Like, let's what are they
Um,
doing? Let
how
me
does
in.
Walter know, Keith Morrison? I think we need to reach out and ask Keith a question.
Also, he doesn't have a
Why
helicopter.
he doesn't have a helicopter,
Under
and
no
he let
circumstances.
no, nor would he allow Walter to wear shorts in the helicopter. I've never seen someone get out of a helicopter wearing shorts. It's too casual. Uh, I know, I
It's
Keith
really a
Morrison owes me
funny
a
that was a
favor.
funny way to bring in Keith Morrison. I was not expecting it. I
Hilarious.
knew it was coming, and then I was like, "It's the helicopter?"
Yeah,
That was funny. Mhm.
so funny.
It
So,
was
I
good.
think we're trying to be led to believe that Walter helped solve a Dateline, that Keith was having like, Keith is the one who solves the Datelines,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's the
No, that's
detective.
no.
Um,
I think that,
or
if you
maybe it was a
asked
personal
people on the
favor.
street, probably absolutely think that Keith solves crime. No,
Mhm.
if you were to ask, they would probably
Yeah.
say, "Well, he's a detective for Dateline."
He's a detective for Dateline, yeah. He's like Columbo. Yeah. He's
Like,
not the
the
host
Dateline is
of
some sort of,
already
like,
solved crimes.
NCIS, like a it's a
Yeah.
like, they go out and do forensic testing. That's the
Yes.
Dateline. No, no.
Oh my god, I
I
loved it.
kind of though, right? It feels like it. It feels like it a little bit to me. What
So,
now
Walter's
who
watching at the end with when Taissa and Misty are having their little meeting over coffee
Mhm.
about how they wanna take down Shauna, and he's watching very ominously from the car. So, is he gonna go full on stalker on Misty, or is
Walter has a bigger part to play in this yet. If Walter has secrets that have yet to be revealed and they're saving them,
Mhm.
which I'm glad about.
Yeah.
I'm I'm very curious.
I did love that theory that he was the bird watcher's child, even though it turned out that, they were toad people and or frog
Right.
people. They were froggers and, but not the kind that hide in your house, and but it turned out the child was important to
Mhm.
the story, kind of. It
Yeah.
just wasn't Walter, but I thought that would have been a very cool tale
But he
to
does
follow.
there's something more to him just being a citizen detective though, right?
Yeah.
There's stuff, why is he so rich?
Mm,
It's still
is
kind of
it
a
really that he
mystery.
got hit on the head with a, cinder block or something at a
I don't
construction
know.
site?
See,
I
it
don't know.
feels lots of this feels odd, and he's very into the Yellowjackets. So, are you
He
waving at me?
is No, I was waving at our next guests, that are
Yay.
in the waiting room. They're so sweet to be early. I love that.
Oh,
Yeah, you're doing great. I'm so 1 sec, okay? I don't know if they can hear us. Um, Hi. Oh, they're good. We're just doing a lot of gesturing. Um, I so
but I
we
think
love we lo
Walter's something is
be
happening. Sorry,
important.
have they signed for the next season yet? Does anyone
Um, they're not filming. I mean, I'm sure when they signed on, they signed for full contracts. So, um, but
but
they
we know
haven't
they have
started
a season
filming
4
to our
coming?
knowledge. Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know, I can't see a season 5 right now. I can see them ending it. I could see next season being the final
It
season.
does feel like things are wrapping up, like they're gonna get rescued soon,
Because
and
we get
then
Pit Girl answered.
uh-huh, right,
I
and
was
we got that was like, "Wow, are we really wrapping up?" But they had always said there are gonna be 5 seasons. It hasn't officially been renewed yet. Okay, well, if they don't renew it, just I'm done. It's 2025, I can't handle non-renewal, so it better
you're
I'm sure
done
it'll be renewed.
you're done with Showtime, period, like, Showtime, you'll never watch
No,
another show on Showtime?
TV
Oh, just TV.
TV,
You're
my
done with
life,
you're done with
I'm
television.
gonna pack up a
Got it.
bag and walk into the mountains.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Um,
You're gonna hop on a train.
I'm gonna become cabin Kimberly
What
instead of
about a
cabin
train,
Jackie.
Kimberly? Like a train person where you just hop
No,
on the train.
I
Hop
feel
on.
like the wilderness is calling me, and I need to go. I need to answer if this
Have you
show is not
have
renewed.
you watched the show, though? I feel like maybe the I feel
It
like
would
it's
not be the
not.
best decision.
I feel like there might be other
Why do I need
places.
to I know, the frogs are calling me, as
Oh,
Sarah's
the
saying.
frogs. Apparently, they're
Yeah.
calling me because I had one. So, I had one come to my door
You
and
did have
stare
a frog.
intently in, which I felt like,
Oh my
had I
god.
been thinking about it, might have been a sign, like, "Hey, it's coming. It's here.
Um,
It's the
okay,
wilderness is here."
do you have any final thoughts? I wish I had the frog picture. Um,
I have a
do you
thousand
have
final
any
thoughts. What are you talking about?
okay, before we bring on our next guests.
I have quite a few thoughts. I don't
Okay.
I have to say I wasn't super excited that we got to find out Pit Girl.
Right, you
I
wanted
found
that to be stretched out more.
I did, and I had a very hard time figuring out what was going on with the underground faction, with, like, the Natalie group and the I don't know why I was having a hard time following it.
Yeah.
Again, it's a very dark show, sometimes it is hard to see, but I
Sometimes it's
was
visually so dark, you have to turn up all the lights on your TV. Yeah. Go in and turn on the brightness all the way up.
but
It's
also if we're about to get rescued, like, if that's coming soon,
mhm.
is Akila making it out of there? And is
Well,
Hannah making it
that's our
out?
next mystery. Is Aquila in the cave? Lottie came out of the cave, but Aquila didn't come out of the cave, and Aquila
Akila
was
didn't
not
come out of the
spotted.
cave?
No, and people on Reddit counted and looked like, identified all the people at the last feast when they're eating Mari, and Aquila's not there. So we don't know if Lottie killed Aquila because Aquila said, "This is all fake and you tricked me." Um, we don't know, but that's Reddit's biggest mystery now. That's what they're saying will replace Pit Girl is where is Aquila?
I thought Akila was about to kill Lottie,
Yeah, she definitely was, but
but then Lottie comes out of the cave. Oh, okay. So
yeah,
something's alright, alright. Um, but I liked Natalie at the top of the mountain. It's good,
yeah,
it's just really moving the story. It's like, "Oh, no,
yeah,
we're
it's
not
really
going
moving the
through a
story.
whole winter. We're going
Yeah,
through one this is maybe their last hunt, unless
yeah.
Hannah."
No, I think it will be unless there was speculation on Reddit, like, maybe Hannah will refuse to do the hunt and she'll just get killed right away because you can't refuse the hunt, or do they have time for one more hunt before they get
Mm.
rescued? We don't know.
Or will it just be an accident?
Could be.
Will it just be something horrible where, like, she almost makes it out and falls off the mountain? Like, could it just be an accident? Like, just something
She
awful?
gets,
Like
like, an infection. They don't have, like,
right.
Neosporin or rubbing alcohol,
She
so
gets
maybe
staph
she just
infection
yeah.
and it turns
Whoops.
sepsis.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
that's
It wasn't murder that killed you. It was a cut
Which
on
is
your finger.
horrible
Yeah.
because it's like, yeah, at this point, that's frustrating,
Mhm.
but I don't
Or
know.
do they make Hannah stay behind because she knows too much?
And she there with Aquila.
Uh,
Ooh, but there's no other randoms, right? We're it.
there are
This is
randoms.
it.
There's Jen with a G. There's
Okay,
Robin.
who are they?
I don't they're on my thing. Um, they're not Robin and
Are
Britt.
they sitting in
Britt.
the line at the Pit Girl feast or
Yeah.
no? They are?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, but Akila's not. Crystal, her body is somewhere. We don't know. Where is the body? We don't know. Okay, I
how
wanna
do
bring
we
on our guests because I don't
yes,
want
bring
them
on
to
our
wait for
guest, but
too
how do we
long.
know Aquila's not in the lineup? I don't trust Reddit. I need to go on
Okay.
myself.
Well, that's fine. Guys, are you ready? We're so happy to see you. Yes, they're ready. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
We're
Hi.
so excited to have you. We have Kevin and Rebecca, legendary true crime podcasters from do you want to do all the credits? I always just say these are their stories and crime writers on,
That's
but
fine.
Perfect.
You can stick
that's
with that.
fine.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
forget to get Rebecca on the iHeart Podcast Award winning You Can't Make This Up.
I worked very
And
hard for that award.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
and she's a Karen Reed expert
Oh,
on
yes.
the
That
Pass
is
me the
AMA.
AMA,
So
as they say.
Yes. Thank
yes.
you, Amy. Readathon is the best recap of the Karen Reed trial. So says Amy. So believe it.
That's
Mm.
amazing. Top billing. Okay, questions. Do you
All
have
right.
answers? Yellow
Yeah.
Jackets.
Who has
First of all,
answers? I don't think the writers have answers.
I
Okay.
that's
can I just throw something out there?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
please.
I don't want to swear on your show. I cannot wait
Yeah.
for them to get the F out of those woods. They have to get out of those woods.
Okay.
It is
See,
so
I'm a
boring.
little more
Yeah.
It
yeah.
is so boring. Just it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. I really fell off this year and just started reading recaps because I listened to Kevin watching Another Room and I watched the finale. It is so boring. It's like an endless cycle of like bad camp.
I have a differing view on that, which is I think
Okay.
the present day folks are boring as hell.
They are too.
But
I
I'm at the
agree.
very least interested in what's going on with the teen group. And I'm sorry if I'm not using like all the hip lingo because I haven't been on Reddit and
No,
I
that's
don't
what
know
I
like
say. I say teen and I say
Oh,
adult.
yeah.
yeah, but
By
Kevin,
the
I'm
way,
not saying that.
by the way, Kimberly, that's this goddamn big on your
No, I know. You
screen.
can't read it at
So,
all. No, I
yeah,
know.
okay, it's
And
fine.
Kevin, I used all my printer ink
Oh,
and
well,
I
Kevin,
ordered
you're
new
dedicated.
and it still is too small to see it. I understand.
Yeah. So my point would be that I feel at least with the teen group,
Mhm.
there is the mystery of Pit Girl and Cabin Daddy. Do we remember? Is that what they
Yeah.
called him? All this
Yes,
stuff
and we were
is it
supposed to get an episode
supernatural,
about him.
right? The whole thing.
Mhm.
That's intriguing because there's mystery to that. Every
Yeah.
time there feels like there's stakes or mystery in the real world, it's like, oh no, I was Misty, no, I was the one that put you in the freezer, whatever. The breaks weren't, nobody's really coming to look at you for an expose. They just
Yeah.
like undercut it. And so that's why I'm kind of done with Melanie Linsky and who's great and those folks. And I really
Yeah.
just want more of Teen Natalie.
But they can get out of the woods
I
and you can still have them.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. I want
that's
them
true.
to get out of those woods. I want to see like when
Oh.
they return Fallout shit. I want to see her I want to see her get together with the guy, her friend's boyfriend, Jackie's
Yes.
boyfriend.
Yes.
I want to see
Mhm.
all of that, but I want to see these actors doing that. I want to see the young actors do it because that's a lot of story, I think, there. But the woods, enough with the woods.
I didn't even consider that. That's a really good point of like, I would like to see that too. Like them go back to the world and what happens because I do think more people make it out and then very shortly die when they get back. Like, because I think where it's leading at this point at the end is that rescue is imminent. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
shortcoming. And we've seen Pit Girl. I think that's the last feast. I think it's the last hunt. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But I think a lot of people are making it out more than we thought. And so then do they start dying in, wherever they are from, New
Civilization.
Jersey? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everyone,
Wait
it's New
until like
Jersey. Anything can happen.
yeah, when Travis dies, which unfortunately we never really got adult Travis because in season
Right.
1
Mhm.
he had taken his life.
And we only ever got Lottie's version of what happened to adult Travis,
That's right.
right,
where
right.
Right.
she said this mysterious force like kind of broke the machine and he died.
I
Can I
feel like
suggest-
adult Natalie would help the adult timeline, though. I do
but
have to say, I
she's
think they
dead.
let her go too soon.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
bummed
the whole
out.
point. Like, to me, there's no built-in suspense in this show anymore because they're killing too many people and we're seeing too many people and they're killing too many people in the real life, in the modern day timeline. So,
Yeah.
like, whether or not I care about somebody dying in the woods is like way decreased because I'm like, oh, they make it out, they make it out, they make it
Yeah.
out, they don't make
Right.
it out. Like, it's just
Right.
like it's a plot killer for me.
Yeah.
It's like a
Mhm.
prequel. Like the prequels are rarely good, except for like Better Call Saul because of that. Because like what happens to the person later, and it's like, oh, I'm not really invested.
Yeah, that's a really great point. For me, this is like the anti Breaking Bad or the anti Game of Thrones things because I love Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
But why is House of the Dragon different? Because there's no existential stakes like with Game of Thrones, right? In Game of Thrones, we're like, White Walkers are coming. It could be the end of the world. What does
Right.
all this other stuff mean? That was interesting. But now when we go back, times like even the way that show, have you guys watched that show?
No, sorry, is
Yeah.
it like I'm
Not
picturing it
House
like,
of Dragon, but I watched Game of Thrones.
I'm picturing
Yeah, yeah.
House of Dragon a lot like the Silmarillion from Tolkien, where it's like in Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, like they have quests and they're doing
Yeah.
things, in those series. But the Silmarillion is just the history of that world. And it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he
That's kinda
begat
what this is.
this
Yeah.
and this beget this and that
Right.
sort of
And in
nonsense.
this one, it's the Targaryens. It's like the inter
It's like thousands
workings
of years
of
ago.
all the
It is.
incestual
Okay.
things. And you're
Okay.
like, which group of
Greens or the blacks.
no, it's kind of like, okay, this group of messed up DNA versus this group of messed up DNA,
There we
and
go.
you don't like any of them,
Mm.
right?
Oh
And like
no.
Rebecca didn't like
no.
don't Better Call Saul because she's like, oh well, we know Saul is not going to die in this prequel, and so the stakes are
Mhm.
different. But
No,
they
I
gave
thought
us
it was
different
fine. I thought it was
people.
good. I thought it
Yeah,
got
yeah.
really good.
Right. So I mean, as far as like what are the stakes, I'm like more interested in the stakes of the teen group, even
Mhm.
though we know, we were led in season 1 to believe like only 4 or 5 of them got back. We see there's still
Right.
plenty of red shirt Yellowjackets that could be, Hillary Swank came in and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
as somebody who writes and somebody who like thinks a lot about narrative and conflict and suspense and surprise and mystery, that
Mhm.
there's still that potential for the teens, but every time you get to the adults and they set something up, then they just completely undercut it. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's why that part is really dissatisfying for me.
Well,
Mm.
we had the mystery this season of who killed Lottie.
Who
Did you
cares?
enjoy that at all?
We met
Yeah,
Lottie for
I
like
mean
5 minutes before they killed her. Who cares? Like,
Yeah.
seriously, who cares? Shauna is the most wasted character in the history of television. Melanie Linsky's Shauna
Mhm.
started
What's
so
going
great,
on?
so strong.
What are
She's
they
become so-
doing with her?
I don't
what
know,
do
but
you
suddenly she has no memory, even though when she got home, she wrote journals about everything that happened. Like, it
Yeah.
That
makes
didn't
no
make
sense.
that drove me crazy.
Yeah.
I don't have any memories of what happened except I wrote everything down in a journal
Yeah.
while we
Yeah.
were there.
Yeah.
And I
She
just
wrote-
chose not
she
to read
seems-
them.
Yeah, her character just seems like really mousy. And then it kind of occurred to me, like, well, maybe that's the point of how she's written, because all of the teen kids, there are echoes of them in the adult kids and vice versa.
Mhm.
Right. Misty and Natalie, obviously. Lottie. Yeah. So all of them. But it just seems a little bit other than like the nice physical resemblances between the two performers. It's like, well, how is that Shauna this Shauna?
Fully
And-
agree.
Okay, so I think
Fully
the
agree with that.
the
I
teen
said that.
Shauna has started to flare her nostrils and put on a really mean pouty
Good.
bisky
Yeah.
face. Like, I'm a B word now. And so she's like unleashing her
Mhm.
evil genius, thing.
Yeah.
But Melanie Linsky has had to learn to survive in the suburban world. So
Yeah.
she is like, I have to put on this nice suburban mom face, but
Yeah.
that is still in there, that killer instinct. And I think now next season it's going to go, she's unleashed all that. She's like, I was a queen. I'm going to do that again.
Right.
We had so much fun.
Right.
So I think that's where the connection is going to, they're going to come back around.
Yeah, it could be. And then sort of when they like get to the end of her appearance in the final episode and she's journaling, and then you
Yeah.
have this flashback montage of all the badass stuff that she did,
Mhm.
and then you're like, well, because even like biting Hillary Swank's arm, the chunk, like that didn't really seem like move me at all. Like oh, okay.
She slaughtered a rabbit.
She slaughtered a rabbit, right? Because you didn't know anything about her.
She killed
Yeah.
her lover. And
Yeah.
I think
Cut up his
she the
Yeah.
smartest line they ever had that explains her character is in the first season when her lover Adam said, there's a part of you that just wants to blow things up and watch what happens. And
Yeah.
I think that's always been her. She slept with her best friend's boyfriend. She was so jealous, but like stuffed down all those emotions. I don't
Yeah.
think she's a good person at all. I think she's the worst person on the show.
Right.
But she thinks, I think we're all these like primal beings that want to kill and survive. And like she feels like that's when she's closest to being alive. She's like, we were
Yeah.
so alive out there. But
Yeah.
then she's gotten caught up in like suburbia. So I think she's gonna unleash that. I think she always wants to blow things up. And like I think that's kind of what biting the arm was and going after it. She's just like she's bored and like and jealous of other people, and she wants to see what's going to happen if she messes with things.
You know, it would have been much more interesting would have been if Jackie lived all the way through the woods and then died after she got home in some way, because that's what I assumed was happening, because we saw the whole thing of Jackie's room was the same. I mean, they sort of like made it mysterious how and when Jackie died. The dynamic between those two was one of the most interesting dynamics on the show. So relatable. So it gave me memories of being in high school and like, you know, doing that self-sabotage thing and also having the friend. And I really like the way they killed Jackie as a storytelling device, because they did kill her in a way that was stupid, which is how a lot of people end up dying. But I think that killing her was a huge mistake. I think she should have lived all the way or most of the way through the woods. You know, maybe before they got in the plane, Shauna pushes her off a cliff or whatever. But like we've lost that tension between the two of them was kind of the heart of season 1. And it's just like gone, just gone.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that they actually did that well, because then it gives the Shauna character something to sort of be tortured by, and then you know we have. I just like want to remind the world who don't listen. Well, everybody doesn't listen to our podcast. Season 1, but they should, right? Or support us on Patreon. You guys support us on Patreon. We support you on Patreon. You support us at a lower level, but that's okay.
What? Oh my God! I'm gonna update right now.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just pulling a Lottie on you.
Don't be a Jeff. Although I love Jeff.
Don't be a Jeff.
Go ahead.
So I forgot. Damn, I forgot the point I was going to make. That was
that we loved the first season so much.
Yeah, it was in our. I think it was my number 1.
It was so close. It was either my 1 or 2. It
One
was
or
like
2?
Perfect. It was so
perfect.
Good.
Yeah,
it was perfect. Yeah, it was an amazing season.
Yeah, and you had us on season 2, the effing worst, right? Out of 10, that's a 1. And then I'm like, this is kind of like a 5. So it's perfectly average now. It averages out. Although I will say, I think episode 10 was the strongest of the year. I like that it did answer some of these questions. But yeah, I mean, like, I'll probably tune in for season 4. I doubt I'm there for 5 unless they completely change this up.
I'm a completist, so I can't give up. But
I can't see it going 5. I can see it stopping. Like I can see them starting to wrap up some of these things. I mean, how did you feel about the death?
They say they have it.
Oh, sorry.
Who did you feel about the death of who?
Yeah, how do you two feel about the people we lost this season? So like Coach Ben.
There's no reason.
Okay,
0 reason. I mean, every time they kill an interesting character, you lose interesting writing possibilities. Now we just have in the woods Shauna, who we know kind of like remains the leader throughout. We know that because people in the future have said so. And we have a lot of people killing people and eating people, and all the interesting people that stirred up stuff or that created interesting dynamics are dead or dying or going to die. And it's like, you know, I don't understand. It's just a poor writing choice. It's also a poor choice to kill off Natalie in the future. I mean, what is the deal with killing off the women in the future? Natalie,
Well, she wanted to leave, I believe. So
she read season 2's script and said, "Kill me at the end of this."
They could have written her out differently than killing her.
Yeah, they could have.
Not everybody has to die.
Yeah.
It gets boring.
By the way, she like died at this odd camp with in the presence, and the cop died in the presence of the people that he was investigating, and nobody blinked an eye. Like,
because killing Natalie solved that problem.
There
The
they go.
wilderness. Okay, so this brings me to the big question: is
Condom
are
with
you
with the
team?
hand lotion in it? No, okay.
What?
Remember that? Oh, you don't
What
remember
hand
that?
lotion?
Oh
Check
yes.
off
Oh
condom.
God, yes.
See,
The condom with the hand lotion from
yes,
last
she was
season.
so determined to prove that she was having an affair. She
Right.
left behind a condom.
They're criminal masterminds.
Rose smelling lotion.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Are you though team? This is supernatural. Something's going on. The wilderness. It is something, or are you team like mass hysteria, gas from the cave, logical explanation,
Trauma.
I am team.
trauma?
I'm team. There's nothing supernatural. I really am. We are told in the beginning of the show that Lottie is taking medication for like a break of some kind. That she
Right.
had a break. She
Mhm.
had been hospitalized. We know that.
Yeah.
What's happened on the show is that she's off her meds and she is doing a really good job convincing everybody that there's other stuff going on. I think that a lot of it is poison gas. I think it's trauma, and I
All
also
the
think
mushrooms are making their tea with.
yeah, and they have changed the thread because at the beginning, there was a lot more of like stuff happening where like one person would see something and then no one else would see it, and so there was a lot more clues that it was sort of in people's
Yeah.
heads, and but the endless references. And the other thing that is bothering me too is that the first season was so feminist in so many ways, and that has continued to degrade, erode. Because the way they're behaving in the woods right now, it's like very anti-feminist, in my opinion. It's like we have women hunting other women. We have,
Right.
the quote badass is actually evil. Like it sort of feeds into these horrible stereotypes of villainous women. And at the beginning, it was like these tough girls and they were doing bad things, but you could understand why they did them. Like you're like, oh, I could see myself doing that, and that's gone. It's completely gone.
However, I do think women should rule the world and rule government, and I think the world would be a way better place, and there would be less war and all of
We should
that.
be seeing
Wait,
that.
hold on. I'm losing you.
We
Wait,
should be
wait,
seeing
hold
that.
on.
We should be
Oh,
seeing
wait,
that.
what was
But-
that? I'm losing.
But
Sorry.
I think that would be really boring to watch if it was like all kumbaya feminist government in the woods.
Yeah.
So,
You need conflict.
and I think
that's what's
some
already
of them are
missing.
like that. Like I think Natalie's like that, and some of them
Mhm.
are like that. But then you have Shauna
Aquila
throwing
was
a
like
wrench in
that.
things.
Yeah.
Aquila is great.
Aquila had to kill
Was.
her animal. Okay,
Okay,
I have
so-
another important
Yes.
question. Sorry.
Yeah.
The casting of Joel McHale. Can I just get you to weigh in on that?
It seemed like a stunt casting to me. But I mean, what's Elijah Wood, right? I just
Right.
it was
But
But
okay.
Elijah Wood, it doesn't distract me that's Elijah Wood. It was
Yeah,
a little
Joel McHale, I
distracting
thought
to me
was a
that
little-
was Joel McHale.
But also
I'll go
in that
with you on
dog
that. Yeah.
situation, your feelings on that as a whole, like the scientists.
Yeah, how
the
the hell did they
scientists
get there?
area.
Contrived. It felt contrived.
How
But
did they get there? How did they get there?
Really good question. Why hasn't anyone asked Hannah?
if they're
Hannah.
close enough to like
You drive in.
to drive in.
Why
walk
did
in.
Hannah kill the one person who could get them out if she wants to get out? Why don't you have Joel McHale at gunpoint lead them
Yeah.
to the end of the wilderness to
Because
civilization,
Shauna
then kill
didn't
him
wanna
right
go.
before?
Shauna didn't want to
Because
go.
Shauna didn't
wanna leave her
I didn't
frozen
wanna
baby,
go.
you know?
Frozen baby. We're not going. And Natalie's like,
But I think Hannah's thing was very smart to kill Joel because now she can say, look, I'm with you guys. I've done something terrible that I don't want people to know about too. So now we all have like things that we've done. So you don't have
Yeah.
to kill me because
Hannah, that
I've
we've known
killed
for
someone
5
too.
minutes? Like you care what Hannah thinks at this point? We've known her for 5 minutes.
yeah, her period hasn't even synced up with everybody else's yet.
Yeah. That's
She's
true.
so much of an outsider.
I don't care about Hannah. I don't care very much about Melissa either, to be honest. I've been
Same.
a little bit annoyed with the Melissa storyline. Like
yeah.
I
That's-
kind of get it, but I'm just why are
Take
you
off that hat. That hat must smell so bad. That hat reeks. Take it off.
I can't stand
No,
it that they put
but-
Hillary Swank in the hat when they do the reveal. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
I was like,
But they're cutting
Because
little
we
eye
would
holes
know.
in the hat for the hunt.
I hate Shauna's hat with the eye holes. I hate that. I
Clever.
don't know why they all have to wear the hats. I think they should like
they're
have
spooky.
to be, if they're going to be executors, like you should have to face who you're killing, and instead they put on like masks like full on
Yeah.
hunters
Well,
or like
They
an
have
executor.
so many animal pelts to keep them warm. They all should be fat.
Right. But there's a
Right?
question
They
I
should
have.
be like
Yeah.
Oh, well, why do we have to hunt you guys? I don't want to even run to the water fountain thing we got going on.
I've had so many bison.
Yeah, but
but-
I'm going to make myself a big cap now.
I'm just going to tell you, I don't think we've actually answered the question from the first scene of the show because we didn't see that like Last Supper style council where they had the very elaborate masks and costumes on.
Do you think that's what that was that we saw at the end of the season finale?
I don't think so necessarily.
You think there might be a difference?
I hope it's not. I actually hope you're right, Rebecca, because I assumed it was because we're seeing the costume. When she said, bring me the hair, I'm like, oh, we're about to see it. Because the one thing that I know from that is that all of the hair is on it. And it was always kind of weird that there was hair attached to the Antler Queen costume, that she had this strands of black hanging off. But it could be that that's worn multiple times. Yeah, we could see that again.
We haven't seen the elaborate headdresses yet. Like that was very important to the visuals of the first episode.
No, we saw it in the last episode.
Yeah, well, we saw one elaborate headdress. We saw that.
Well, Rebecca, if you put your phone down
while
we were watching,
I saw it.
It might be detailed.
Well, I read the recap with lots of photos, and I saw it.
When Mari's running, Lottie says all of those shots were the same as the first scene. As the pit
I don't
girl
think
scene
they
from the
reshot them.
beginning.
I think they took them. So
I think they literally took the same shots. They're literally the same.
Smart. Yeah.
And Lottie says to Mari, you've been here before. You can change this.
I don't like that. I don't understand it.
Well, it's because she fell in the pit earlier, and that's where the coach pulled her out. She should have known that Tiger Pit was there.
I don't think it's the same pit.
Well, how many pits are there?
This one has spiky.
No, I think
yes, they. Okay, all right. So this is what you missed.
Travis made the pit. So the pit was real, and it was from the supplies from the original Frogger people. But Travis added the spikes, and he was going to kill Lottie. He had Lottie walk out to the pit, and he covered it with sticks, and she walked on it like she was walking on water.
Yeah. But I think there's a couple points.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. I think there's a couple plot points that you're missing, which have to do with Coach Ben.
How dare you?
Because
does not miss plot points. I do.
Question that
he's talking to me. Don't worry about it.
Who dug the original pit? Because it certainly does appear as if Coach Ben stumbled upon. No, remember
he stumbled
we see it in every opening credits. He opens up. And the reason why I think it wasn't him is because he found a bag of granola bars and shit like that.
That was wild.
Somebody else left.
No, it's the original Froggers, because the one Frogger, the nerdy guy from Veep, says there's other supplies out here. The past groups of Frogger teams left them.
The Frogger teams dug a fucking
language.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, the Frogger teams have been out there before. Yes.
And left their food down there.
Those supplies, because what was on the boxes is the same university that their research team is from.
Either you guys are all mistaken, or that is that's bad writing.
They're the others.
He says
that's right. The others.
The last team of researchers left some around here somewhere.
If you put your phone down, you would know that, Kevin.
Well, when Mari fell in the first time, she should have landed on a bunch of damn frogs. Right?
Yeah, she should have actually.
I'm adding Linda's comment. But Lottie walking on the
What's the Patreon level where you could interrupt?
Is that what it's? We should have one that's called that.
But Lottie walking on the thing, I feel like was like a nod to, is this some sort of supernatural thing?
Yeah.
Now, Lottie has had visions before. Lottie had visions when she was a kid that would come true. That's why they put her on medication. And I think when she said that, because I think there's something supernatural. And when she was in the car with her parents, she stopped them from getting in a car accident and other things like that. And then when she said to Mari, you've been here before, I think she had foreseen the pit girl scene.
Yeah. But I'm with Nicole in the chat on this. I mean, Coach Ben with his one leg could not have dug a hole that deep, that wide, and then gotten out of it himself.
Perfectly square.
I don't even know how to get Mari out. Because Sean is like, bring her out of there. I'm like, well, who's jumping down? Ouch. And they're going to pull her up. They didn't bring their rope. They brought 15 axes. and and their little Disney, their Daniel, their Davy Crockett masks and stuff. But oh, well, good thing we better bring
Why do
the
you keep
rope
watching this
and
show?
my digital audio recorder to get it all down. Why do I keep watching the show?
There's so
Because
much disdain coming out. I love it. I love it.
I mean, I
Who
did like
who
the
would
last
you say
episode.
characters you love? Like, who's your favorite character?
Well, I default love Melanie Linsky no matter what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's
Of
the only
course.
character
Yeah.
I love
I
because
think that's where a lot of people get conflicted because they love Melanie so
yeah,
much.
and I
but
don't care that
Shauna's
she's
so
bad. I don't
unlikable.
yeah, and I don't care that she's turning into a villain or has been. I mean, she's been a villain right in front of our faces this whole time. I don't care about
100%.
that because her performance is just so nuanced and great and lovely. And I love her and Jeff dynamic so much.
So
And now
much.
we're losing that. But yeah, she's the only character that I feel like we would be more or less without. I mean, I don't care about. I didn't give any care about Van. And I was like, please, she's got cancer. Can we let go of this already? And they did, but in a weird way that made no sense. Yeah, but Melanie Linsky's Shauna is the only character that I really, really like.
Yeah, I'll say that in the teen timeline that I like Natalie a lot.
Yeah.
I think she does a really strong performance.
She's good.
Misty is what she is, she's comic relief. Yeah, like adult Misty, it's good, but she's a little annoying. But other than that, I actually liked Van, adult Van. But and I really hate Ty. I don't know. I mean, I just that whole
Bad tie or good tie? You hate both ties.
I guess,
hate
but
that
because I don't know who's who, right? I mean, this is what
Yeah.
is so incoherent about it. Is in the first season, she's going to be the state senator, which apparently is a really giant get on CNN kind of job
Yes.
in the
Yes.
state of New Jersey. But how does it end? Like her wife goes into a coma and we don't know what happens to their adopted son. And then for the next 2 seasons, she's just like, hey, I'm going on a road trip to see my ex-girlfriend who runs a VCR, who runs the last Blockbuster on the East Coast. And they just well, we're just going to go to the hotel. Like, never call to find out if she's still on life support.
No,
it's like,
she's
she's
awake. They
How
went
is
to
she
the
alive?
park.
There were phone calls that were like, stay away
right.
from us.
Oh, but 2 weeks later,
They went to the park and she saw her.
Yeah.
And
It needed more.
her son can
incoherent.
see if she's bad tie or good tie.
But we
So
haven't
he
seen
said,
that in
like,
forever, Kimberly. We
you're
haven't
not
seen
my
that
mommy
since
anymore.
Season 1
But
about
the
that
dog
was
No,
the whole mystery
that
with
happened
the
this
on the wall.
season. This season they went
No,
to the park.
I know, but it
and
happened for,
Sammy
like, a
was like,
blip.
"You're not my mom."
Yeah,
A
you're
blip.
not my mom. Yeah,
blip.
sure, a blip.
Blip.
But the dog
I
sacrifices.
think they're trying to
eating
go
the bird
like
and
she
like,
was
that's all
turning
fine.
into bad tie. She was turning into
Yes.
bad tie all the time and doing stuff. She thought Van could help her, so she went to find Van. But instead of having Van help her get out of that, they just started eating like caviar at the which she's a vegetarian. Good tie's a vegetarian. Bad tie's not.
Yeah, I
And
thought
then
Van.
Were you
they
interested
had
in
that
any of that?
Goonies trek, the like
Yes.
Goonies trek they
Yeah.
just did at the end,
Yeah.
and then that like pulled her out. So now she's back to being good tie.
Why did they
but it's
fail
too
to
late.
mention that the pirate in Goonies was One-Eyed Willie, and we didn't think anything of it in the 80s? I thought Van could have been a magical character, right?
That's
Because
really
she
funny.
escaped death.
Young Van is great.
Yeah, young
Like
Van,
multiple times.
multiple times, and so they're on it. You could,
She's like Unbreakable.
if you're a showrunner, you could make something out of that.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, oh,
Mhm.
she has cancer. It stopped, right? But
Then
but
it's
I
back.
think she could have, but like how Lottie is somewhat otherworldly, I certainly thought Van could have, I'm not saying like light side of the force and dark side of the force or anything, but they could have done, and I didn't care for her
So
death.
This
the
was an
scene at the
extreme
end,
letdown.
though,
Yeah.
when she's with her teen self, and the teen self says something like, "This isn't it. This
Yeah.
isn't like the end." So, do you think we're gonna get some sort of like afterlife of
I hope not. I don't
Van,
think that's a good idea.
or they go back to the? Do you think they're going back like on Lost? We have to go back, and Katie and I talked about this. The theme song is "No Return, No Return,"
Yeah.
and so that to me means they're going back. I don't want them to go back because they did that on Lost.
Everybody who's died that we've seen die has seen their young self like in a vision, right? Or most
Yes,
of them.
but they haven't said they haven't said this isn't the end.
Lottie
haven't
did.
said,
Lottie
like,
did see
this isn't
her
it.
young self.
Yeah, she
Oh,
did.
Lottie
remember-
did the
yeah.
airplane. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I
She said,
kind of
"Oh, it's
remember.
time."
No, not in
Yeah.
the airplane. Like
Like
the
she was
young
in the
self
Like,
walked
the younger
her
self
in
comes to
the
her room.
coroner's. It
Yeah,
was the
to the
coroner's
coroner, yeah.
office, and like
I just
Yeah.
wanted to say really
But-
quick about Van. I like Van in both timelines, actually. I'm a
Mhm.
Van fan, Van
Van
stan.
You're a
And,
Van fan, yeah,
here's the
Yeah.
the issue I had is that it really felt like a bit of a waste to not have Fire more involved. If you were gonna kill her character in either timeline, it had to be with Fire because
Right,
of
because
all of the
she's
stuff
almost died
surrounding
with fire
with
3
her.
times
Yeah,
in the
Yeah.
wilderness.
Yeah.
it doesn't really do that, and, like and
Maybe
not even
cancer is the fire of the body.
That's a
No,
stretch.
That's
Symbolic?
no. Go in the corner.
Do you
Go in the
guys-
corner.
Do you guys remember how great this show used to be? Remember when that
Trying to
girl
help.
took off in the plane and it exploded and how great that was?
yeah,
Lee.
Laura
It was
Lee.
So
she
good.
was like my favorite character in season 1. I love
Yeah.
her.
I forgot
good.
that.
And,
Great.
and there's like this triumphant, like
Her teddy bear.
We're
Yeah,
excited
her
for
teddy bear
20
caught
seconds.
fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
That
then they
was great.
stopped trying to get out. And this is a big problem that I have with what's happening in the woods because I feel like I understand that they're making camp and doing stuff, but spring came and I'm so sorry. But if I was there, it would be like, okay, we're doing excursions again.
Yeah.
We're going further in the map. We have like more supplies, more food. We are packing to stay gone for 3-week trips out to search, to try to figure out what's going on, like
Mhm.
get beyond the Rust River or
Like,
whatever.
We're gonna
That's what those dudes
reconnoiter.
in
Yeah.
the Andes did when they were eating each other. They would like they said
Yeah.
yeah.
You've
Yeah,
got
somebody
to
go.
try, right? Otherwise,
I
you just
think
like it's ridiculous.
That
It's not trying to
disastrous trip in the
easy.
first season with the compass all spinning and stuff, and then the wolves, they were just like, "We're done. We only try once, and we're done now."
It's like Rose in the
think-
door.
I think this is what happens with most women is that they don't want someone to fix it. They just want everybody to acknowledge their feelings.
Mm.
And so
Right.
they're all like, "Oh, we're stuck in the
Kevin.
woods." No, it's like
Yeah, just dig it.
like Javi should
Keep
be like,
digging
"Well,
yourself.
I could just like go walk out." No,
Right, I'm the
you
man. I
never
should
listen to
take care of
me. You know, I think
Kevin.
that's what.
I don't understand also why they have not returned to the Hunger Games beach, like the beach that looks like it's in Hunger
I
Games.
think they're close to that.
Yeah.
That's where
The
they
Have you
beach
seen
bathe.
any
the-
sign of beaching?
lake?
There's no beaching.
No, but that's where they're getting their water. So I think they're close to that.
How
That's
far away
fresh
from the cabin did they go? I mean,
I think they're close to the cabin, but I think they are quite a hike from the plane.
Also, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
is the cabin just obliterated? Like
it's gone.
everything burned. We're
They
supposed to
watched
believe
it burn
there's
for 10 days. They stoked that fire.
oh,
Yeah.
really?
That's
The
what they
cabin
said.
where all
and
of
I
their ammunition is held. They're like,
Yes.
let's sit around while the
Okay.
fire consumes the black
gunpowder?
powder, the gunpowder in that, and we'll just like somebody should have been like that would have been a great way to kill somebody off. You know, very
Yeah.
Who
very
started
Final
the fire
Destination.
then? Okay, so if there's no supernatural and do you think Coach Ben started the fire?
No,
No, I
I
think
don't
Shauna
one of
believe
the
it.
girls.
I think one of the
No.
girls started the fire.
Shauna.
Yeah, or
Shauna at this
supernatural.
point.
I think the greatest hanging plot point and that I've been dying for 2 seasons now is Cabin Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like
And
there's
I
the
believe
secret.
they filmed an episode with Jason Ritter, and it was supposed to come out before this season as
Mhm.
like a filler, like an episode. It's like a one-off
Standalone?
episode
Yeah.
with Jason Ritter as
Ronnie
Cabin
Lynch's
Daddy,
real
and
life
no
husband.
one has seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably said, "No, this is too good for Yellow."
But you know what? If it
Can't
is really
do it,
good, what they should do, if this season is getting lukewarm reviews, they need to release it now. Just let it go. Let it go right now. Like let something like really spark people's interest in the next season. You know what I'm saying? Keep people
Yeah.
if it's a really good backstory.
Wait a sec.
episode,
Wait a
do
sec,
it.
though.
What?
Okay, wait. So a red head thing is saying that Van is like fire and how she symbolizes fire. Fire is like the phoenix, right? So she kept dying by fire, but keeps getting reborn because she's not dying by fire. And then when she dies, her teen says not yet or whatever. It's not
Think she's
time
still
yet.
alive?
How does
So
it
I
end?
think there's
Yeah.
I really think there's something more with Van and the phoenix thing that ties into it.
It would
Where
be
does
great if
Van's
she
body
came out
go?
of the ground, right? And she's like, "What the
She
fuck,
hasn't been
man?"
Ty
buried.
buries
That's
her
the
body.
stuff
Ty
she's
buries
lying
her
in.
body in a carpet
Oh, that's right. And she
Yeah.
ripped her heart out, so we're not
Yeah.
going to see Van.
and eats her heart.
I saw
So
that.
maybe she
But-
lives on in tie because of
But
the
if
heart.
Van all of a sudden shows up with the scar right here and another, what the fuck, guys?
Hey,
That would be interesting, right?
That would be
Well, what if
interesting,
there's like
actually.
another dimension that they like don't get rescued, and we're gonna go back to that or
Oh, they're
something?
very lost.
it's
Like,
very losty.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
I don't know.
I mean, towards the end of this season, I did think that possibly Lottie was not dead, that was a fake death situation.
I did too.
For sure.
I kind of thought that was
Yeah.
happening too.
And then
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh no, it's definitely Callie. Because
and why
there's no
did Lottie in her last moments kept calling Callie Kelly?
No, she was just pronouncing it in that way.
No, go back.
I saw it. No, I
but
heard
Kelly. No, it's like, come
it's
on.
her affected voice.
Her affected voice.
I have better go back
That's
and
what
look up.
Melissa was going by, Kelly. That was Melissa's fake alias. Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a mispronunciation on
Yeah.
purpose.
I mean, you brought up the theme song, and I still love it. And we actually were having conversations about it. It was like, what time measure is this in? Because something seems off. And we were talking about it because there's I don't know, you guys
It's
musicians.
an errant measure.
There's an
I
extra
understand.
measure coming out
Jake
of the
is.
bridge.
Jake, weigh in.
It's
Any
6/8, and then there's a measure of 7/8.
There's like a 6/8 or a 5/4,
I think it's 7/8.
right?
And what
Yeah.
does that mean to you?
It means,
What
it
is
means
that?
there's like one.
So most songs are
distorted.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, so this.
Not literally. What does it mean? Symbolically, what does it
Oh,
mean?
it's just.
Is it
Okay.
just meant to be unnerving?
Oh,
yes,
is that what
I
you
don't
mean?
understand both
That's
things.
it
he said.
exactly, Katie. It's meant to have this eerie, throw
Yeah,
you
like,
off
sort of.
kind of thing.
Throw you
I
off.
still love the
Mhm.
synthesizers and stuff. I'm always doing this with my fingers. You know, I thought it was.
Mhm.
I think it's still one of the better things about the show.
The theme song.
The
Well,
theme
we
song,
did
yeah.
on our last live stream. We talked about how much we loved the music from season 1 and how disappointed we've kind
Exactly.
of been
I had a
because season
Spotify
1
playlist.
was
Even
incredible.
the playlist.
Yeah, I do too. I love the Spotify playlist from season
I was
1.
really happy
But-
with some things, and then I was told that there was Radiohead in these last few episodes, and I guessed it, and I was like, it's not exit music, is it? Because I'm a little hovery on that song, and like they better use it right. They better use it right.
I mean, they had
really
"Living on the Edge"
on
by
edge about
Aerosmith.
it.
Yeah.
They had "Living on the Edge" by Aerosmith. Yeah, when
That was
Natalie was
funny.
climbing the
I haven't
mountain.
heard that song in
Yeah.
a really long
There's one thing I just want to ask you guys about, because the most enjoyable scenes for me are when the women in the present day timeline act or in situations that are super normal. Like when they went to the dance, it was very funny. My favorite
Mhm.
scene
That
this
was a
whole
good one.
season is the sleepover, when they're just like doing
Mhm.
each other's hair and sitting around and talking. And it's
Mhm.
like when you take them out of this weird space and put them in normal spaces, like there's something about that that's very delightful. What do you guys think? Have you felt like we're missing some of that, like, you know,
Camaraderie.
it's camaraderie, it's comic relief, but it also reminds you that they had been friends. They were actually friends.
I think the scenes
Um,
with them together are the ones where I'm the happiest. Like, I
Mhm.
could really sort of take or leave a lot of Jeff's involvement at this point. At
Mm.
this
How
point in the
dare
script.
you?
I love that.
Last season I was more. This season I'm like, okay. I know
Jeff
him
grew
and
on me
Callie are
this season,
bonding.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I get it. But like those scenes that you're talking about, when they're all together, where it feels like the woods transplanted into the modern time, I like those.
Yeah.
as
So
well.
the commenter said the sleepover scene reminds us that they never didn't have a normal teenage experience. It was the
Right.
same thing with
Yeah.
the dance.
Yeah.
Because they were in the woods and they didn't get to go on any dances, you know.
Yeah.
It's like so they're getting to do this thing, and then it looks like it's very alien to them in a very funny way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell
you're
you
right.
the funniest moments to me are Misty's throwaway lines, like when they're on the road trip and she says, "Who wants to split a bag of floss picks?" And I was like, "What? Just buy your own. It's just fine. You don't need to split
They're
them.
big
I mean, they
bags.
come with like 100. They
No,
do
there's
them
so
with
many in those
celestial
bags.
a
Yeah.
long time."
Well, the
And
first
then when she
season
gets
she
the
gets with
Uber
Natalie, and it's
driver-
like, you want to listen to show tunes or podcasts?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I love Misty, and I wish they appreciated spending time with her. I mean, okay, my last question, and then we have our other guests waiting. So Natalie sees that Misty broke the transponder, which
Yeah.
is that was one of my hanging threads. Was like, are they going to find out? Is that why they hate her so much in the present tense? Because they
Mm.
know that she did that. But Natalie, I don't think tells the others
No,
that she
'cause
broke the
did.
transponder.
Natalie
She's
knows that
just
anyone who
keeping
sins
that.
is dead. So
Yeah.
I don't think that she's gonna
Anyone who
say anything.
sins is dead. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get like there were a lot of things about young Misty this season that weren't great. I mean, why like bring back coach Ben,
Just to kill him.
only to like, almost kill him, save him, and then kill him again.
Yeah.
And then kill him
Like
again.
that.
Yeah.
Kill him while he's fat and there's still meat on those bones.
It's happened so many times.
Don't
in the
let him
show.
hang out and waste away and then say, okay, now we're going to kill you, just to have the head there,
Yeah.
And then so Misty, oh, I love you. But like, why can't Natalie just
I think she
whisper?
was wasted this season, Teen Misty.
She was
I agree.
wasted. There was a lot
Yeah.
of things. Yeah. Yeah. But I
It is-
certainly I like going back in time and doing the whole thing with in the
So
woods.
beautiful.
But
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh,
That's our
sad.
dream sequence. Anna.
Yeah.
All right. They have other people they need to
They
talk
do?
to.
That's
Wow.
beautiful. Thank you so much for
We
coming. and
appreciate
joining
you.
us.
We could talk to you forever. Literally.
I would talk to you
So,
forever too.
Yeah.
But I actually kind of
sleepover time.
Yeah.
Well, Karen Reed didn't do
Read
it.
each
That's all you
other's
need to
hair.
know.
There we go. Colin was in the
Karen
house.
Reed did too.
Colin was in the house.
Second that. That's
That
second.
drama starts Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thumbs
get
up.
ready, folks.
Karen Reed didn't do it, but the owl did do it. How about that?
Yeah.
You're
It's
gonna,
true.
people are gonna fight you.
There's
Why are you
another
making big
staircase
claims?
somebody could have fallen down to their death.
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
think
Uh-huh.
so. Check the
Mhm.
Apple Watch. Check the Apple Watch. It's
Check
there.
the Apple Watch.
God damn it.
All right.
Thank
you
you
guys
all.
so much.
Love
Make
you
sure you're
guys.
subscribed.
Thank you for
Bye.
having
We
us.
love you
Thank
so
you.
much. Bye. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna bring on our next. We love them so much. Make sure you are subscribed to These Are Their Stories and Crime Writers On because
And
they're
the read report
legends.
is
And the
on
read
their
report.
Patreon, I believe.
Yeah, the
it might be on their
readathon.
regular feed,
The
but yeah,
readathon
if
is on
you're
their Patreon.
sorry,
The readathon on their Patreon is so
readathon, sorry.
good.
If you
Yeah.
are into the Karen Reed case, the trials, what is happening
if you're
right now,
not,
following that,
you'll get into
they
it.
follow it. Yeah, Rebecca follows it.
So good. Okay, we're gonna bring on our next guest. I'm so excited. I hope they're ready. And I'm gonna add them. Hello.
I'm
hello.
ready.
Hi
Are
guys.
you I'm ready.
Hi
friends.
How
She
are
said this is
you?
Katie because I don't think Katie has met either of you.
And I've
Amanda
not
and
met either
Amy.
of you.
I have
Didn't
not
I
met
do this last
Amanda.
year? I can't remember.
I don't
No.
think so.
Kimberly,
no.
you're
Maybe
in my
that's when
ear
maybe
holes
that's when you hated me.
weekly with Mary Payne, but we've never met, so it's nice to meet you.
I know. And I have heard your voice, obviously, but I've never met you. So Amy and Amanda are on Little Miss Recap, which is still the best name for a podcast ever, and I'm so jealous.
Thank you.
And Amanda also has a podcast called Amanda's Coaching Corner. Is
Thanks,
that right?
Kimberly. I appreciate that. Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
amazing.
Mhm. Yeah.
So tell us about your Yellowjackets excitement. Have you all been watching the show since the beginning? Do you love it? Are you obsessed?
Oh,
Did you hate
I'm
this
wrong.
season?
I'm wrong. Amanda watched it from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
watched it from season 2, and then she and I went back and did a rewatch
There you go.
Okay.
of season 1.
Yeah. I got into it like episode 3 or 4 because Mary Payne kept talking it up. And I was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I got to go
Mhm.
listen to this. I watched this and I fell in love immediately because these are our people.
Yeah.
You know,
These
these
are
are my peers.
it's our age group,
Yeah.
and they're women. They're very complicated women too that
Yes.
are messy and
to say the least.
and it has so many mysteries for me and like very dark. So that's what I
It was a great
love about it.
idea. It's a great concept for a show. It was really from the jump. It felt like, oh yeah, that's
I agree, and I love so I heard you sort of trash talking Lost. I loved Lost.
No, I love Lost.
Okay,
I just don't
okay.
want them to do. I loved Lost. I don't want them to do the same things they did on Lost.
See, I want
because-
them to do some of the same things
You want the
that they
smoke
did
monster?
on Lost.
Well,
I
I
want
like
them
this
to,
outlook.
I don't know, write it cohesively, maybe.
Right.
That would be great. But the flashback when we learned who Kate was, who Sawyer was, like those were
Yes.
great
Sure.
stories. And
Yeah.
that's what I wanted on this. I want to
Yeah.
know more. Amanda and I talk about this all the time. We want to know more of what happened when they got off the plane.
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened?
And
Yeah.
what did their families and the whole town do while they were gone?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
do you think that's possible? Because we were just talking about that with Kevin and Rebecca. Like
Yeah.
we
Mhm.
could still stay with these young actors after they're rescued and see what happens.
For sure.
When Lottie's not talking and they have to lie, or Lottie's dad has to cover up what they did, or do they just tell everyone that they all died in the plane crash and we never saw those frog people? Or
Well, one of the things that Amy brought up a lot, and I think is interesting, is the fact that things feel so big to teenagers, right? Like until the frog folks came around, they did nothing that anybody would look at them sideways for. They could say Javi fell into the lake. They didn't have to talk about the hunt. It never had to be a thing. But they couldn't see that because everything is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a
now
really
they've jumped that lake, and now they can't get
And I think that's why people hate a lot of the characters, because they're just like, that's not what I would do. But it's like when you're
You
a
don't know what you would do.
teenager,
Mhm.
you don't know. But and
Things
then
feel
when
so big.
it was so
Yeah.
frustrating to me that some of them didn't want to get rescued because of the things that they've done. And I'm
Mhm.
like, no, it's gonna be better. At least you'll have a shower and pizza. So like
And
sure,
McDonald's.
people
And McDonald's,
and
yeah.
McDonald's and
Yeah.
people will think that maybe you did things and that's fine, but like it's not the end of the world. You are still gonna have pizza at McDonald's and a shower.
I'm interested in, so can I give my overall thoughts?
Yes,
Because I've been
absolutely.
bottling them up and I'm ready.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
By
I
the
look
way,
at
wait, Katie, Amy is the one that people think is my voice twin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
You hear?
I
I don't hear it.
It's only when Mary Payne's around. It's
Yeah.
like she's some kind of magical being that brings it out in
Yes.
us. I look at everything as a writer because I'm a writer,
Mhm.
and the writing on this season is terrible. It just is. And you know what? They strike it once in a while, and you're like, okay, we've managed to pull this out of the nosedive. But overall, when you compare this to season 1, it is like
It's a different
There's no
show.
com-
it's a
yeah,
different show. First of all, I appreciated what Kevin and who was your other
Rebecca.
Rebecca, I'm sorry. I appreciate what they said about the music because they are 100% correct that they are not using the music as effectively. Did appreciate Radiohead though, Katie. I'm with you there.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, I was just concerned because they
Yeah.
have not been using it effectively
Right.
this season. And when I heard what the song was, I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, season
Because-
1, we had the whole Nat Travis Ultravox theme.
I mean, that was
over
the,
and
that was the
over and
pinnacle of
over
it.
it.
Using
And
we've
piano
lost
was
that.
like beautiful. Using climbing up walls during the first cannibalism scene was
Mhm.
brilliant use of
Yeah.
Radiohead. Like there were
Yeah.
a few like moments in this
Yep.
that are so good, but they're kind of missing in these as time has gone on. And so there have been a few redemptions this season, but it's like it felt like season 1. It was like every time it was like, yes, good use.
I wonder
good,
if their
yes.
music
Yeah.
person changed after season 1. I
It didn't.
wonder
I
if it's
don't
a
I don't
different
think so
person.
because
no, it didn't.
No, and the song that they open with, this Sleepwalking, is an original
It's
score
original, yeah.
by them, which was interesting.
Is that
Um,
so? Okay.
And so I just feel like, and I was trying to say this to Amanda yesterday, but I was over voice to text and it wasn't really coming out well. I just feel like, so we call this the Penny Dreadful effect, which is Penny
Oh, it was
Dreadful.
So good.
They were
Till it wasn't.
they really needed a season 4 for that, and they thought they were going to
Yeah.
get one, and they were told halfway through season 3 while they were filming it that they weren't. So they had to
yeah.
quick button everything up, and
Uh-huh.
I felt like that's what happened here. Like the pacing of the entire season was just off.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
fact that we got the answers to so many things in the last 25 minutes of episode 10 is so weird when it could have
Mhm.
been like the pit girl scene and the
Right.
revelation of what that was
Mhm.
should have been scattered over maybe 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And like a slow reveal and payoff. Instead
Mhm.
it was like, oh, I'm just going to give you the answers to all of this, when they spent so long, too long, I would argue, building the suspense and the intrigue as to what this is. And then all of a sudden it's
Mhm.
like, oh, but here it is. And I even threw a baby fit last episode and said I was not going to care what Easter eggs were in the show anymore because they don't pay off.
But you still
That's
care.
true. And people
still
on
care.
Reddit get really excited
Yeah.
about the Easter eggs, but
Yeah.
then
Oh, yeah.
they're just dropped, kind of.
Yeah.
So
I
they
just had a
crack.
thought while you were talking about Pit Girl and stretching that out. You know what would have been great in this? Because the final scene of Natalie up there doing that call, if that was where we were going, we didn't really need Pit Girl. What we could have seen is Mari fall in a hole again at what looks like it could be the Pit Girl scene, right? From the
Yeah.
beginning. So you're like, oh, is that about to happen? And then somehow time the episode in a way that season 4 opens with Pit Girl scene.
Yeah.
You could have like left that, you could have left a literal cliffhanger on multiple fronts by not showing that yet, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Well-
not having that reveal yet.
They started this season with that fake chase where it looked like they were
Right.
hunting Mari, but it was just the game they were playing.
But then you
And
could have
then
just had her fall.
Yeah.
You could have
Mhm.
just shown her go whoa into the thing, and you would have known it was Mari, and you would have been like, "Wait, is this
Is this the
it?"
pit?
And then like, yeah, is it this? And
If
then
not for having to run around through the woods in her nightgown.
But she
Oof.
was wearing the nightgown, so I think we would have known it was
Right,
her.
that's it. I
think-
mean, we couldn't have
Yeah.
faked it.
Right.
Maybe this is Pit Girl, maybe this isn't. The nightgown is the giveaway.
that is the dead. Yeah,
Honestly, I would have paced it out to be like the big reveal in season 3 was that Shauna's evil and she's the antler
Mhm.
queen.
Mhm.
okay.
That would
yeah.
have been the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then season 4, we get the pit. We get a little bit more of that. We
Sure.
get them rescued about halfway through season 4. The back end of season 4 would be what happens when they get home. Like that's how I would have paced it.
Yeah.
This is I don't know.
So do you
what's
think
going
they're
on.
getting rescued right away next season?
No, I think it's still a month or two.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit.
Because they probably I had to drive to Passover Seder last night, 3 hours in the car. I spent a lot of time on Reddit reading about this stuff.
Okay.
And
Happy
The
Pesach to you.
the time, thank you, you too. The timeline seems to be June to January. So June of 96 to January 98.
January.
We had Thanksgiving Canada, which
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
the middle of October. I don't think that's actually truly accurate because it would have been snowing by then, wherever they
Okay.
are. But
Mhm.
I think we're probably in December. I think we have time of who
Okay.
they were going to go.
Because
do-
we still have Hannah to die.
Right. Hannah's
So-
more
Mhm.
people have to die. Now, everyone's going, well, we only 5 or 6 people came out. We don't actually know that.
We don't know
We don't.
that. Yeah.
I
I
don't.
think
Just
there's
because there's
going
adult versions doesn't mean we know everyone who came out of the wilderness.
I
I
don't
think
think
there's
Hannah
gonna
comes
be
out.
a
No,
battle
Hannah definitely
royale.
doesn't come out.
I think there's going to be a battle royale, like a civil war type situation,
think you might
like
be
an
right.
anchor
Yeah.
man, with people
Sure.
killing people with tridents and stuff. Yes. I think there's going to
Well-
be like a battle royale. The two
Yeah.
factions have already split. Nat's
Yeah.
going to come back.
Mhm.
It's going to devolve and then they're going to get rescued. So that's going to take out 3 or 4 other people.
Could very
Are they
well.
leaving anyone behind, do you think, or are people staying
Mm.
behind willingly?
I don't think we're leaving anyone behind. And coming back to that before we come back to that thought, the one that I thought had the most reason to want to stay in to stay in the wilderness, Lottie, because she's finally like, I'm clear of these medications. I'm getting to live my real
Yeah.
self.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I sort of got why Ty didn't want to go back because she was so afraid of being a lesbian
Mhm.
Right.
that she
Yeah.
was like, oh, here I can be with the love of my life. I
Right.
don't
Mhm.
have to worry about what everyone's going to say. 'Cause we have to remember this is still 1997.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not today.
That makes
Mhm.
me think about, Amanda, was it season 1 or season 2 where Coach was having the remembrances of his boyfriend and he
Yes.
confided to Misty? Like that, it was just so rich in narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like what's
Mhm.
happened? There's none of those moments anymore.
I would have liked
I know
more of
it's
when
very
he was.
plot heavy and less character heavy right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I would have liked more when he was trapped in the pen as he was starving to death to have
Mhm.
more of like conversations with Paul
Yeah.
Yes.
or
Yeah,
more
that would-
dreams
yeah,
of being
we
with
know-
Paul as
yeah.
he was dying slowly.
And something
Yeah.
Amanda
was
pointed
like
out is
Connie.
like Ty's wife, what's her name again? I forget.
Simone.
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 She's just gone. Like
She's
they just
gone.
got divorced and she's gone. And Ty could give 0 Fs about reconnecting with her son or any of that. I don't know. They're just gone. Like it's
Well,
just
her
so
son,
weird.
when she went, I'll keep defending
He
that scene in
freaked
the
out,
park.
right?
I
when
agree with
he
you, Kimberly.
freaked out and said, "You're not my mom." So I think she
Yes.
knows she can't go back to him until she's good Ty again. And I
Yeah.
think that they had that weird Goonies trek, and then she became
Which I
good
loved.
Ty again.
Loved the
So
Goonies
maybe
trek.
she'll
Yeah.
go back to him next season. I don't know.
I just feel like this show is very lucky that it had an amazing season 1 because it built up a lot of capital.
Yep.
And we are all here twisting ourselves in knots trying to keep it.
Yes.
You know
Not
what I
all of
mean?
us. I think the amount of people that have fallen off who just gave up is, I would.
It's a lot of
think,
people.
high. I think I don't
Which
know
is,
the numbers.
Which is sad. Like I still have faith that they can write like they wrote in season 1. So I'm still here and I'm going to
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
season 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm
but-
still here. Yeah.
But season 3 was not great.
If we could have just
No,
had season 3 from Croak on,
Yeah.
that
right.
would have been great.
Sure.
Everything that
Frogs
happened,
on.
Stretched
make that
out
10.
over 10 episodes.
Yeah, make that happen
Yeah.
over 10
Yeah.
episodes. We didn't
Yeah,
need
I'm
that,
good. I'm good
that
with that.
12 angry girls and
We were
a
so
one drunk
bored the
Travis.
first few seasons, and then the frogs came, and then we were like,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
now this should have been where the season. Yeah,
I was
I
really
totally
excited.
agree with that.
I agree. That
Um,
opening scene of the frog screeching, that should have been episode
Great.
1 opening scene.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Boy,
So
but that was
I
written
have to
bad too. So sorry. I have to say I was really grumpy about how they were written and Joel McHale. I think I'm the grumpiest about Joel McHale coming in.
Joel McHale as a sex symbol survivalist. Yeah, it was an odd
I was
choice.
pretty I was irritated.
he is
I
a
was really
sex
irritated.
symbol. He's a sex symbol to
To
some
whom?
in this household,
Oh,
in
okay.
Kimberly's
Got it.
household.
Your
But
own
I
household.
Yeah.
We are
my
not
Kimberly's,
We are
in
not
a
in your
a
household.
shared household
but
like in
I think it really brought me out of it, like in a way that Elijah Wood did not bring me out of it. Walter and I think that's perfect. But I keep seeing Joel McHale like the whole
Yeah.
time. I never,
Yeah, it's
and I
not
was
great.
worried when I heard he was going to be there because I've watched him in so many other stuff when
shouldn't
he's
be there.
funny, and then it's
No.
now he's this like villain. And
If you
I
want to
know.
put him in it, have him be a rescue, like a Mountie that comes to rescue them, and you see a brief second of him as he says one clever quip as he's hauling someone into a helicopter. The end, and then
Mhm.
everyone
done.
is like, "That's fine." Oh,
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
that's that guy. Yeah,
I
but
think
not-
that role demanded just somebody nameless, like some just
Yes, I
beefcakey
agree.
20-year-old or
Yeah.
30-year-old, whatever.
Totally,
who's the
totally.
guy in Lost that is
Matthew Fox.
no,
Sawyer?
Oh,
he
the guy who
couldn't-
was
he couldn't
Sawyer.
walk. No, he couldn't walk, and then he could walk when he
Oh,
got
the
to
guy
the
who was Locke.
house.
Locke?
Not
Oh,
house, Locke.
yeah. What was
Okay.
his name? The guy who did the
So good.
walkabout in Australia.
The
Yes, the
walkabout
guy
John
movie.
with
Locke.
I kept
yes.
picturing
So
someone
good.
like Locke. I
Mhm.
was like, maybe this should have been cast as an older
Yeah.
person who's been doing
Mhm.
this for very, very long, like a
Mhm.
very studied, learned survivalist type. Like you could have added what Kevin was talking about a little before of adding stakes in, like make the stakes a little higher by this person actually
Terry Quinn. Yeah.
could
Terry
really
Quinn.
mess this up for the girls. Like
Yeah.
he could really, maybe he's got knife skills or something. I don't know, but just
Yeah.
something. It felt like something. I was so excited when they came in, and then I was like, "Oh no, come on, what's going on? Where are we
Yes.
going with these two?
It was weird.
And why is Hannah? I don't know. I just
Let me
But I
ask you
did
guys
like-
this. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're the guest.
Let me ask you this. What are you more vested in at this point? The adult storyline or the kid storyline? Because
kid
I'm
storyline.
feeling the kids. That's about it.
Always the
It's
teens.
always
Always
the
the teens have
teens.
been more
Yeah.
interesting to me than the adults. Just get so whiny to me, and like, which is ironic because they're the adults.
Right.
But it's just like,
But they're not adults.
they're not. They're
None of them grew up.
perpetually. It's very
Yeah,
much
that's a
like
good
on
point.
Love After Lockup, where
Yes.
like the people come out the same age that they went in, because when you have that
Absolutely.
kind of trauma, you don't grow up past that age. So
Mhm.
yeah, they are kind of like teenagers for
And
sure.
it seems like there was not a lick of therapy to be had for any of these women.
Well, we would
No.
know that if we got those missing years. I also will
Yeah.
say that I am
Mhm.
not the thing with Shauna is not hitting me right. And I don't know if I'm just not scared of her. I'm not scared of her at all. Like I don't
I'm
Is it
scared of her
because of
now.
Melanie
I'm
Linsky?
not. I
Because-
think it's because of
because
Melanie
we love
Linsky.
Melanie
Casting of adult
Linsky.
See, I
Shauna.
think that's brilliant casting because we just thought she was just a boring housewife, and she's so
Okay.
sweet looking, and she's so
I
like
tend to agree.
she was the most quote unquote normal of this group. She married
Yeah.
her high school sweetheart.
Maybe.
They had a baby, and
But
now,
she can't play evil. She doesn't do it well.
Well, she
we're just
did on
starting
The
to
Last
see
of Us.
evil.
Did
Oh,
you
she
watch
did
The
play
Last
evil
of
in
Oh
Us?
Last of
yes.
And
Yes.
you didn't find her scary.
No, 'cause I kept
agree,
seeing
her
Shauna.
face, her face is middle-aged mom. Her face is fully middle-aged mom.
And
Yeah.
she's
But I
got
think
that little voice,
But I think what's smart about it is teen Shauna has started doing this pouty, pursing her
They're
lips, flaring her
morphing.
nostrils thing, where she's doing this like rage, angry, primal thing. And then I think Melanie Linsky as an adult had to fit in with the suburban moms and go back to her nicety, but like it's buried. I think you'll maybe be scared of her this next season when she fully like embraces how much fun she was having being
Yeah.
evil and being a queen again.
It'll be interesting to see. I really think an actress like Lottie could have pulled it off. Adult
Mm.
Lottie
Oh,
could
see,
have
I don't.
straddled
She's too
those
pretty.
worlds.
She's too
Mhm.
pretty.
I don't feel
When
like
she
Shauna
bit off-
like she can do it.
When she did arm meat, arm flesh, you were like not even.
Maybe it's the writing because I just don't
the
feel
writing.
like it's ominous.
It's the writing.
I feel like it's
agree with
always humorous.
There's something
Oh,
right.
so I didn't feel the stuff with Melissa was humorous at all. That felt terrifying to me.
See, that's good. That makes me
Yeah.
happy to hear that
That-
because
that-
I
that-
wish I
that
want that,
table
but I'm not.
scene?
I'm not
Katie,
getting
you're
that.
not getting it either.
I'm not, but I want to be so badly. I'm
I
like
do too.
super invested, and I'm like, oh, I want to be. Why isn't this working for
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna try harder.
Okay,
next
let's go back to last season when she she carjacks her own car back.
Right.
And she's about to shoot that guy and she's
Oh, yeah.
shaking and she says, "But I'm not shaking because of how scared I am. I'm shaking because of how much I want to
To
kill
do
you.
this.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
do this."
Yeah. And she's like, you don't know the things I have done. Like,
Yeah.
don't count me out because I
Yeah,
look like a
that's
sweet
true.
little suburban housewife.
Yeah.
I'm
I
a
hope we'll
monster.
get back to that
I do too.
because in the
Yeah,
next
I would
season.
like that too. I bought that. I'm more.
Did you guys see did you watch Boardwalk Empire?
Yes.
I did not.
Do you
I watched a
remember
little
the
of it.
character of Jip? He was played by Bobby Carnival. Is that how you say his name?
Mhm.
Oh, I remember him being in it, but I don't remember the
He
character.
was menacing to the point where like I was scared of him. Like that's how I want to feel about Shauna.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to feel
That's what they're
honestly
writing her.
scared of her.
Yeah.
And
I
I
get that.
just can't.
I think season 4 Shauna will be terrifying because I think she's finally dropping the mask. She doesn't care anymore. She
Okay.
has nothing left to lose at this point. I mean,
And
at
they
this point, her
got
family's
husband-
disappeared.
Right. Husband and child are
She has
gone.
no idea if they're going to come back.
Right.
Okay.
And they were kind of her tether to like
Yes.
morality.
They were why she had to be normal.
and not
Yep.
being primal and doing whatever she wants to do.
Can I
So-
have a small minute for a victory and an I told you so here?
Yes, you may.
Yes.
Okay. I'm ready for it. We haven't recorded our episode yet. I know this is coming. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I said, and everybody thought I was way out in left field, that I thought Callie murdered Lottie. I called it from day one. Thank you, Katie.
So
Yeah.
did Katie.
All
You
the
were
And
like,
I
don't
was
count
like-
Callie out.
I said,
didn't
keep
see
your
it.
eye on her. There's something up with her.
Mhm.
I knew it.
They were
Mhm.
focusing too much on her. I'm like,
Mhm,
this is
mhm.
she's something has happened, and like this Lottie connection, they're not showing us that for no reason. Like
Yeah.
something is building
Well,
here.
that one scene from last season when Callie shows up and Lottie says, "This is your daughter. She's so powerful. She's
Right.
like
Mhm.
instantly
Right.
transfixed.
Yes.
She's our child of the wilderness. She's
Yes.
the only child of the wilderness." So
Sorry,
she
though,
has
did
to be
we
important.
find out
Sammy,
why-
the thing is, we don't know who Sammy's. I assume Sammy's mother is
Sammy
biological
is-
mother
I'm-
is Simone's.
So
Simone,
100%.
yeah.
I assume. Although Sammy, there's something a little off
Oh,
about that.
Sammy
kid.
needs to be returned
So-
to the store. Sammy is weird and broken and terrifying. And he needs to be
Every
returned.
time there's a kid drawing something creepy, just
Yeah.
throw the kid
Yeah.
right in the trash because
Yeah.
it's not going to go well.
This
Not
kid
gonna
cannot
go
be
well.
kept.
Mm-mm.
This kid's like
you know,
hiding in the cupboard.
We need
Uh,
are you guys? Did you guys grow up watching soap operas?
no.
We need like a Stefano DiMera, like a
Mm.
Phyllis Romalotti. We need just someone menacing. And you know who could have played it? Juliette Lewis, Natalie's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could have been. I would have been
Sad
scared
she's
of her.
gone.
I would have
Sad
been
she's
scared of
gone.
her.
That
Yeah.
she's gone.
Very sad.
Yeah, she didn't want to be there. I wonder why.
One thing when you guys had
She
Kevin
did not
and-
like the way her character
No,
was
she did
going.
not.
Yeah.
And
She
she
did not.
thought it was going to she felt like she was too depressed over Travis and she didn't like that her character was so transfixed over like a man and was
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
going back to drugs and wanting to kill herself.
See, I
and stuff
actually
because
thought that
of
was a
man.
beautiful part of the story, the trauma bond that they
I
had,
did
and
too.
it fueled their
Yeah.
addiction. And I thought
Yeah.
that was
Mhm.
beautiful and realistic.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Totally.
Yeah.
Coming back to something that Kevin and Rebecca said though, on the older people when they die seeing their younger version, I don't think
Yeah.
Travis saw his young version.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But we haven't- yeah, we
that
haven't had that
storyline
scene.
was dropped and we only really
Yeah.
have Lottie's
Interpretation of what happened.
Yeah,
interpretation of
we
what
didn't
happened.
see him
So-
die, correct? We just
But-
saw it through Lottie's eyes.
Correct.
Remember
Through
how
Lottie's eyes.
dramatic that was? The whole
Oh.
search for Travis, and
Yes.
then like,
And the way he
the-
died.
To find him on
Yes.
the
oh
whatever.
my goodness,
whatever
like
that piece
just
of
the
material
drama,
was.
like, and you're, yeah,
It was
Mhm.
heartbreaking.
Okay, going
Yeah.
back to that, when Van dies,
Mm.
her teen self says something like, "It's not time yet," or "There's more to come. It's not the end yet." And no one else's teen person has said that. So I feel like we're not done with Van. Like either we're going to see her again, like in I don't know, another timeline or another dimension, or they go back. I don't know.
It's
They're
dark.
maybe going to see an afterlife.
I mean, I'll take Lauren Ambrose in any way I can get her.
I'll take both of them. I love
Mhm.
Van is my favorite character of
Thank
the whole
you.
show.
Van.
I
am-
like
I'm
Van
a
in
Van
both
girl.
timelines a lot. I
Yeah.
was really bummed that she is not going to be
I was
with
a
us.
Natalie fan,
that.
and Amanda loved Van, and they're both gone.
I know.
They're
Story
both
of our
not
lives.
good.
So
And you
Everyone
know
we
what?
love
They
leaves
were
us,
both
Amy.
good people. They were both good people.
good
all
in
the
their heart.
people who are dying
They
are
never
people who
good.
didn't
succumbed.
hurt anybody. Right.
Objectively
They
good
never
people.
succumbed to like the
Yep.
evil of the
Mhm.
wilderness, and
Travis.
killing people.
Well,
Yeah.
Lottie killed somebody, but Travis, Van, Nat, no.
Mari.
So,
Yeah.
do you guys think that? Okay, don't get me started on the pit, because there's no way that Travis had time to sharpen those sticks to the point where they would penetrate a body. Okay, first of all, but second of all, do you think that Ty was dark Ty when she ate Van's dead heart? Can't believe I just said
No.
that.
No, I don't think she
No.
is. I think
Okay.
when Van died, she came back together.
Yeah,
And
I think
ate her
it was
heart
a-
anyway.
I think it was an honoring thing, like they did with
Mhm.
Javi. They had
Okay.
and she didn't want to give her up, so she wanted
She wants
part
her
of
in her forever.
in
Okay.
her, inside of her. Amy, she
Okay.
said to be in her, to be inside of her.
Feels like
I
a
think
ritual thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I think
that's
it was a
something we
ritual,
did
like when
in the
when
woods.
someone dies. Yeah. I think that's
Mhm.
her essence.
Hmm.
Okay, so my final question for you both is our thing that we keep going back on, which was also the question on Lost, which was like, is this supernatural, or is it mass hysteria or trauma, or
I don't care.
fumes from the factory?
Wow. I deeply care. I deeply care. I think it's a mix of mass hysteria, trauma,
Okay.
group
Uh-huh.
psychosis.
Okay.
And I
Mhm.
think they're being poisoned either by the mercury underground or
Okay.
the lead in the water. Something is messing with them.
What does the symbol
Mhm.
mean? Who burned the cabin down? Who is
That-
I have-
cabin daddy? All these things
Who-
have been dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need the
Well,
symbol.
I hope
We
they're
need the
coming
symbol.
back.
Do you guys
We
have
need
theories
the
on the
symbol.
symbol? Do either of you have a theory on the symbol
I
at this
thought-
point?
I think it might be something as simple as like it's a mining
Is
That's what
it?
we think.
symbol for
Yeah.
people to keep track of where things are.
But this is why I don't get invested in these theories, because I feel like they just don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's
But we're not done
frustrating.
yet. They will tie. Like they took
Season
3
4 is
seasons
gonna
to
be
do
a lot.
Pit season. Well, they
Season 4
have 2
better
more
happen.
seasons. So, and they filmed an episode with Cabin Daddy, which
heard
is
you
like
saying
this
that.
Wait,
lost
right.
episode. So we better get some answers there.
I love the show, and I hope you guys are right. And I'm looking forward to a
Yeah.
really
Have
jam-packed
faith.
season
Wait,
4.
I had a thought when you
Have
were talking
faith.
about Penny Dreadful, though. Did I say this, or I
No.
think I tried to write it down? The how they had to push together that last series. What I'm wondering if parts of this that felt a bit clunky here in this season of season 3, have they already been informed that there is no season 5?
That's
I-
what I'm
so-
wondering.
Could be
Things
no
that was
season
supposed-
5. Melanie Linsky posted on Instagram today, basically saying like, please let there be a season 4. I promise to do more behind the scenes photos, because she's been publishing a bunch of those behind the scenes photos. She's like, I promise to do better with this. I promise to do better with that. Please give us a season 4.
Here's the thing. I think viewership has been up. And I think a lot of that is because Paramount Plus is distributing it now. So I do think they have the viewership for season 4.
Mhm.
What I'm nervous about, and I was talking to somebody else about this, is that there might be complications. It's in contract negotiations. I think that that's where this show traditionally struggles, is
Yeah.
with the actors and the cast and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
maybe it's taking a while because they're just ironing those things out.
I hope
So
so.
that's why the announcement
Okay.
hasn't been made, because the announcement should have been made right away.
Yeah,
as
it
soon as
should
the
have
finale
been.
dropped,
Should have already
but-
been here.
Well,
Yeah.
and Melanie's the only one who knows where they're planning to go up to season 5, because they told
Yeah.
her that when she signed on to do the show.
Except
She
she's
said,
come
"I
back
don't
and
want
said-
it."
She's come back and said she doesn't know as much as she said she did originally.
She lied to us.
I
No,
don't
but
know.
maybe they're squashing it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe she did know the original 5 seasons, but if they're
But they're
concerned
now
at this
pushing
point
it to
about
4.
making it through 4, then they have started to. The timeline has been. Maybe Van was supposed to be in season 4. Maybe our
Maybe.
big deaths of season 3 were supposed to be Lottie and Coach Ben, and
Yeah.
then season 4 was supposed to be Van and someone else, right?
And I could see a world in which season 3 would have ended with the shocker that Shauna is evil. Boom.
Yeah.
That's it. And
We
then
But that
should
was
have
not a
ended-
shock,
four
really.
wraps everything
She's
else
up.
always
up, though.
been evil. She's always been evil. We've been getting her villain origin story, I think, like the whole time.
We
It's
have
just-
been, but it's been right in front of our face, and it was never
And we
explicit.
discounted everything about it. And I
Yes.
think we wrote off a
Yeah.
lot of her poor
And
behavior.
that's good
after the
writing,
baby died.
actually. That's good
Some
writing.
of us did. That is good writing. She's very
Mhm.
complex.
Yeah.
You mean
She's
it ending with the reveal
dislikable,
of
but she's
Melissa?
complex.
Reveal
Yeah,
of
like-
Melissa and the bite? That
Yeah, I would have made it
sort of-
somehow, or them just crowning her antler queen.
Mhm.
Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like ending it there, and then you
Yeah.
pick up in season 4 with the pit hunt, and then the rescue, and then you do a little bit of them coming back, and then season 5 you tie it all up.
Yeah.
I think that's how it originally was meant to be, but instead we got like so much right in here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see.
I don't know.
We
I
need a
see what-
season 4. It needs
We
to
do
We
happen.
need
need
a
a
season
we
4.
need
Agreed.
it now.
I'm in it.
I'm
I'm in
very
it.
stressed.
And again, I love
thank-
this show. I don't want it to sound like I'm crapping all over it. I
No,
love it.
I think
Yeah.
we crap on it because we love it and because
Because we want-
it
we
had
want it
such
to be-
high potential
Right.
and we want it to
Yes.
be what it was in season 1.
Like
And
I said, they
think-
built up a lot of favor in season 1 because it was so good.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
good.
100%.
I agree.
Mhm.
Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank
Make
you.
sure
For
you
having us.
subscribe to Amanda's Coaching Corner and Little Miss Recap.
Thank you.
They're seriously so good, and I love
you.
your recaps. Amy's covering like all the fun trash TV.
We
She
cover
does
everything.
Sister Wives and the everything.
If it's on and
And,
it's trash, we're there.
Yep.
Yeah,
pretty
you're
much.
there.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
I
Yeah.
love it so much.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks,
both.
girl.
We appreciate
Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Thank you both.
Thank
Nice to meet
you.
you, Katie.
Take care. Bye,
Bye.
ladies. Bye.
That was so
Okay, we-
funny. Throw that kid in the trash.
They're so funny.
That kid has to go in the trash. I can't stand.
Oh my god.
I need to take a bathroom break. We
You
have
take
another
a bathroom
guest,
break.
or
I'm gonna bring on our next guest, and then
Great.
when you come back, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
There we
So
go.
We'll do
Okay.
trading. Okay,
excuse me. This is a
Keisha, I'm
long,
bringing you on.
long business.
I know the long. Hi, Keisha.
Oh,
How are you?
Hi.
You're right. You're
I'm
here.
great.
Thank
I'm so
you for
excited.
being here. We're so excited.
Would
to
not have
you.
missed it for the world.
Katie will be back. She just popped to the restroom because we've been going for
Okay.
an hour and a half already,
Hours.
so we're
Like,
tired.
Are the people from Yellowjackets paying y'all to do this? Y'all are putting in all the hard work today.
I know.
Woo!
I know. And we're
Wow.
getting all agitated. I keep getting all sweaty because I start thinking about how good season 1 was. And I'm like, remember that? And then, so
Yeah.
tell us, have you been watching since the beginning? Oh, first of all, Keisha is from the Libra Lounge with Keisha. It is such a good podcast. She's so freaking
Oh,
funny.
thank you.
And she talks about like reality TV, anything going on with like crazy celebrity drama.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so, my 600
And
pound life.
life.
She has like a photographic memory on my 600 pound life and knows everyone, but all the trash TV. She's
yes,
amazing.
love it. It is my
People are
jam. I love it.
Yes. And you
So,
just
yeah.
met Dr. Now from my 600 pound life, by the way, in case anyone's a
yeah.
fan.
After 4 hours of standing in a line in the cold. Yes, but it paid off because he just posted a reel from that day. And guess who's in the reel?
You're in
Me and my big old head. We're in the reel. I was like, look at me.
I love it. Is your husband, producer James, as excited? Was he just going along? Does he watch my 600 pound life?
He will indulge in it with me, but if I'm excited about something, he just automatically loves it. Like he
That's
lets
so
me drive.
sweet.
He's like my purse. Like
Yeah.
you gotta go. Let's go, purse.
That's
But
a
yeah,
good husband.
he actually stood in the line longer than I did because I was too cold and it was too windy. So he stood in line like an hour and a half before I did to save my
Love it.
spot because I'm like, it's cold.
That's true love. That's true
It's
love.
true love. It's true love.
So tell us your overall thoughts about Yellowjackets. Have you been watching since the beginning, or did you
what
come
the
on
fuck
late?
is going on? Like I didn't watch
we're
it
trying.
when
We're
it
trying
first
not
premiered.
to cuss. We're trying not to cuss,
Oh,
but
God.
we just did once. It's fine.
You invited
Sorry.
me on your show.
I know
Okay,
that
I
was a
can do-
huge mistake. That was it.
I
No,
can do this.
it's fine.
I
I
cannot
marked
cuss.
it
Okay.
not for kids, so I think we're fine.
Okay.
I don't think we're getting
Not
in
for
trouble.
kids, old people, the Amish.
Yeah.
You may want to
Mhm,
tune out.
exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna do my
Mhm.
best. So season 1 had already premiered
Yeah.
before I jumped in. I was like, okay,
Okay.
Mary Payne start talking about the show. So then, okay. My number
Yeah.
one complaint about all the seasons is why is it so damn dark? Like I feel like I'm visually impaired sometimes. I'm like, okay, is it me? Is it me?
I say I say the show is dark, and I don't mean
It's
just like
dark.
because they're eating people. It's actually
No,
dark.
no, no, no,
I
no, no.
have
Yeah.
literally whatever device I'm watching on, I go into the settings and I turn up the brightness all the way. It's
Okay,
so
so it's not
freaking
just me.
frustrating.
I'm
No,
like, what
it
is
drives
going
me
on?
crazy.
And I'm like,
I hate
they
it.
actually showed something, and I can't tell who is
see.
who. Everyone looks like a shadow. I'm like, why do they do this?
And then when Ben
why-
was in the cave with Mari, I was like, I don't know I need the subtitles on 'cause
who?
I don't even know who's there. Is someone else
Yeah.
there? I have no idea what's happening.
And they have a bad habit of showing text messages on the phone.
Yes.
I cannot see that. I need you to blow that all the way up. I cannot. There's been times like, James, please go stand by the television and tell me what that says. Because I'm like, I can't see it. I'm comfortable. I'm
You
on
need
my
readers
heating
on.
pad.
Yeah.
I tried that. I'm like, why are they poking fun at us because of our age?
I
What
have no idea. They
watching?
did the Game of Thrones was also like very, very
Yes.
dark, and people
Yes.
complained about that final battle scene because they're like, I couldn't
Yes.
see anything. You spent all
like,
that money on special effects,
then that's
and I
that.
couldn't see the dragon. So
I remember like people texting saying, is there something wrong with my TV? I'm like, oh no, it's my TV too.
No,
like we all graduated the
so
same
dark.
year. Maybe it's our vision is going, it's leaving us. But season 1 was amazing.
Yeah.
Hi.
Amazing.
Hi, nice to meet
Katie, this is
you.
Keisha.
Same here.
Keisha, Katie.
Nice
So
to finally
excited to
meet
have
you.
I know. I'm so excited. I hear your name all the time. This is great.
Oh, I hope it's in good ways, good things.
Always. Always the best.
She already
way.
cussed, Katie. She already said the F word.
Don't worry about it. You're not the first.
I promise.
You're not
I
the first.
promise.
You're
Kevin
good.
and Rebecca
tried
cussed
hard.
too. It's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
Totally
I
fine.
have a horrible mouth. So, season 1 was phenomenal. And then here we are. What is this, season 4?
3.
It's 3. And it's kind of like, okay, did we switch writers? What's going on? Like, it's still good, but it's just not season 1 good. And I'm waiting for it to get back there. Like, it still has my interest peaked 100%. But sometimes they throw stuff in there. I'm like, what? Like, it makes you say, did I miss a scene? Was this filmed in the dark where I couldn't see it and I missed it? Was this like on a text message that we were supposed to be able to read somehow? So I hope they get it back together for season 4, because I hear there is supposed to be a season 4.
Yeah, that's what
There's
we were
supposed
just
to
trying
be
to figure
5, but it just hasn't been renewed yet. But there's supposed to be 5, and they say they had it mapped out what was going to happen, but we're not buying that. It does. There are sometimes it seems like a Ryan Murphy show where, like, sometimes on American Horror Story something will happen and you're like, where they were just there. I don't know, why are they here now? It's like he's just writing and like throwing up like scenes on paper and throwing them up in the air and then being like, okay. Sometimes it does feel very disjointed like that. Yeah.
Now, I forever love Ryan Murphy. I love everything he does. Sometimes Ryan has been sipping on shrooms when he's writing, and he's just like, give it here, take it, figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
So this season has just been, I'm tired of Dark Ty. I don't understand that storyline. Like, get right.
Well, the man with no eyes, it was there once and then he disappeared. That man that she sees with no eyes, like, what is he about? Is he something from her family line, like her grandma?
I have no idea. Well, something else that people do sometimes, and it irks me, it bothers my soul that young Ty has dark brown eyes and grown-up Ty has like almost dark chestnut colored eyes. That bothers me every time I see it.
They're putting in contacts for dark
putting in contacts so that she looks,
They're putting
a little
red
like
contacts
evil,
in for dark tie.
They're making her wear red contacts so that we're supposed to be like, that's dark tie.
But it's not obvious.
Bad tie.
It's not obvious at all to me. If you had never told me that,
you wouldn't
I would have
know.
never figured it out.
You'd be like, well,
that's old and tired. They need to stop that. Unless that bitch is turned into a vampire, she don't need red eyes.
There's a few things that they don't tie up. I totally agree. Where like if if we could just get a little more info about Dark Tide, maybe everyone
Yeah.
would be a little more on board. It's the way I feel about this Lottie storyline in this season, where all of a sudden it's like Lottie's real interested in Callie. We
Yeah.
kind of get a reason, but not really. It's just this vague, you're the wilderness child, or what
Yeah.
have you. And Kimberly kind of bought it, but I didn't buy it. I was like,
Well, it threw me off because I'm like, was there like a lesbian love child that was created? Wasn't
Right.
was it what
Is Lottie
was
the
it
mom?
filmed in the
Yeah.
dark? Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, did Lottie have a baby too? Like that just came from out of nowhere. But I tell you
Yeah.
what, I was shooketh when it was Callie who actually killed her.
Mhm.
And
I
I'm
thought
like,
that was great.
I
I
was like,
thought
don't be like
the
your
thing
mom.
one of the things that's a problem, I think, is that the fans go so nuts on Reddit and they create these amazing storylines, like,
is true.
and then the show doesn't sometimes build up to
You're
it, like
absolutely right.
live up
Yeah.
to it. Like some people thought Callie was Pit Girl, like they went back to the wilderness and then like she
Oh.
dies, or it's an alternative storyline and Callie was Pit Girl. I was like, that's fascinating. Okay, but then you're like, oh, it was Mari. We guessed it was Mari from the beginning,
Well,
so it's
they
like,
need to get on a writing staff because a lot of the things that because I love the Reddit. Like I will get
Yeah.
on there and I'm just like, this is so cool and fascinating. But
Mhm.
I mean, I don't want to say this season has been a nothing burger, but
I think it was up until the frog people came. Also,
Yeah.
another thing that was totally called on Reddit, they thought it was birds, but they thought the exact same thing. Like Reddit
Okay.
had totally figured that out, that it was
Okay.
like researchers coming and they were like recording things, and the animals mating was what they were hearing the whole time. Like they
Right.
figured all of that out. So
They're so smart. They're way
they're
smarter
they're
than me.
smarter than I am. They're way smarter than
Like,
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't understand why these children don't want to go home. That is insane to me that some of them don't want to go home. Like what?
I
is
think,
wrong with
okay,
you?
so we were talking about
Agreed.
that with Amy and Amanda. One
Okay.
reason Ty being lesbian doesn't feel like she
Okay.
can be her true self back home with Van.
Mhm.
Okay, but hold on.
The
I'm gonna go
yeah.
with you on that one.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you rather a freshly clean vagina than the dirty woods vagina? That's what I would
Yeah.
pick. I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
No.
go home and freshen up a little bit. But
Even if it
I
has
can
to be
understand that.
secret. Yeah.
Even if it has
even
to
if
be,
it has to
yeah.
be secret, it's
Mhm.
I
fresh.
agree.
For a
But
minute. Mhm.
as I was reading something on Reddit and they were like, you guys aren't understanding, they're teenagers. And when you're a teenager, everything
90s.
feels, you would rather stay in the wilderness than go home and have fresh sheets and food and like ramen and all the stuff you love, but
Yeah.
because you don't want people to judge you and think about what you've done, and you don't want to be like an outcast or something. And I was like, that's
I
kind of
get
true. I can
that kinda
kind of
makes
see
sense.
teenagers.
Because I was
And
in high
also-
school during their time. So I mean, some of
Yes, we were too. We're all the
You
same
know.
age. And also Shauna, I think her reason is valid because at home she felt like she was nobody. She was just judging. She was so jealous of like Jackie's life, and she felt
Yeah.
like she wasn't important. And now she's a full-on queen and has respect and is
right.
getting to live her primal bloodthirsty self. So like
Yeah,
I
she's
get
a horrible
why
person.
she is. Yeah, and
I
I think
can't-
she's a bad person. Yeah.
I can't stomach her. Like, which kudos to the actresses because
Yeah.
I hate them both so bad. And Shauna, and that smug look that she does is what I punch her right in the nose every time she does
Yes.
it. I'm like, that is exactly how we're supposed to feel because I just
100%.
100% stand her. Oh,
And
I mean,
she's so good. She's such a good character and
yeah,
such a bad person, but that's why she's
Yeah.
good to watch, I think. Yeah.
yeah.
So you are scared by adult. Are you scared by adult Shauna? Are you buying that adult Shauna has that like darkness and will be?
I tell you what, adult Shauna and I would put on the boxing gloves because I'm sorry, you're not about to bite my arm and eat it and then have me eat
No.
a piece too. That's what we're
No.
not about to do right there. We're going to go to
No.
better health therapy together and we're going to figure this out because
Yeah.
something is wrong with you. And it's so weird because as much
Why
as
did no one go to therapy? Seriously,
don't
None of
know
them.
yet.
therapy.
We don't know yet.
You're right. We don't
Maybe
know
they
yet.
did when they came back. We don't know yet.
Maybe the
They
therapist judged
be in
them
it.
for what they did, and so now
Yeah.
they don't tell it, or they had to kill the therapist because now she knows what they did.
Look, there may be like a cave
be
somewhere
good.
full of dead therapists because of
There,
Oh,
there's
no.
a
no.
people.
I'm so
that
sorry. It
could
just
be-
occurred to me they can't go to therapy because remember they're
Because then they'd
making
have to
pact
tell.
as they leave. Exactly.
to never
And so
talk
Not to
about
tell
they
it.
can never
anyone.
talk about it, so they can't go to therapy.
But
So
look at where they are. It's as
Yeah.
much as I cannot stand Shauna, that is how much I absolutely love Jeff. Jeff and Misty are my favorite
love Jeff, too.
characters.
Yeah, me too.
I
love him.
Jeff. I
Mhm.
love Misty. Like she's totally psycho.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
I'd rather hang out with Misty than Shauna because I don't know.
I want a road
Shauna's
trip
just- I
with
don't know.
Misty. There was a line, I said it
She's
before,
gonna have
the line about
snacks. She's gonna have
she said
drinks.
have
She's
snacks.
gonna have
She said, "Who wants to split a bag of floss picks with me?" But then when she took an Uber ride, she goes, "Good luck with your aquarium ornaments on Etsy," like to the Uber
She
driver.
talked
She
to
was
the
meeting. It
guy.
was
Yeah.
because she
Yeah.
talks to the guy like she's
She talks to the
fun
guy.
and like
Yeah.
yeah. I would
Yeah.
so much rather hang out with her or Jeff than
Yeah.
Shauna.
Yeah.
Maybe
Jeff at
because-
first I
I'm
was
glad
like,
they
I can't
left
stand this
Shauna.
guy.
I'm glad
Yeah.
Jeff ran away from Shauna.
I was like, good daddy. Like you are doing
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Y'all are horrible parents, but now you're like making up for the horribleness because it really is. They are victims of Shauna, just like these girls are, and they're
Mhm.
just now realizing it, which is scary all
Yeah.
this time.
I feel like I was not upset when Jeff and Callie left, but I was very upset by the Misty Walter breakup early in this season. I was like, no,
Okay.
why? No, he really likes you for who you are. What are we doing? I didn't understand it. And I was
But
I
didn't
was
you then
invested in
say
that.
that you think there's something more with him? Like, don't you think
There
you said you
is.
think
There
there's like a
definitely is.
mystery, like that he's
There
really
is.
into the wilderness girls?
But
And
you
like,
don't think he does like Misty at the same time? Do you think he's
I
just
think
No,
he
I
likes her.
you do?
I think he
Okay.
likes her,
Yeah.
but I also think I really want them to be together. I'm shipping them till the end for sure. But I
But
do
something's-
think there could be more with him.
There's-
Like
Well,
there's
he's got
something
stalker
off about
vibes.
him. Stalker
I mean,
vibes.
He's
Yeah,
got stalker
that makes
vibes.
sense.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he used to possibly kill little animals when he was a small child. I think he's
Yeah,
got that in
It's
there.
totally possible.
Yeah, we might
But I'm
see that.
like, Misty, get your man. He is rich. Everything
He's
else can be
rich.
worked out in therapy. He's cute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He borrowed
He
a
was-
helicopter to come
Hey,
see
bro,
you.
look, we're about to get married right now. Like, you got a whole helicopter to come rescue me. This is my man right here. My man. And he's
He
obsessed
loves
with me.
jigsaw puzzles.
My man.
I would do jigsaw puzzles with him and watch
Yes.
murder shows. We would have the best time. We would be one of those couples doing the jigsaw puzzle together,
Yeah,
watching
they're-
the true crime
Yeah.
stories. Love.
I think she's so set on the fact of making these girls be her friends, which they're just,
Yeah.
it's not gonna, they've
But
never
she-
liked
she-
you.
But don't you think she finally realized kind of at the end of the season,
She
like
did.
Shauna, at least she knows Shauna is not her real friend anymore.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
but maybe
Yeah.
she's going to jump in with Ty and her and Ty are going
That's
to
what
go.
it seems like.
But what I
fight
did like about
Shauna.
this
Good
that
versus
we
evil.
don't see. Oh, I'm so sorry. Say that again. What'd you say?
Good versus evil.
Oh,
But I don't know
Yes.
who's good.
I was just gonna
Yes.
say what we do get to understand a little bit more is why Misty is so attached to Natalie. In the teen timeline, we see more this like Misty Natalie things happening towards the end of this season. But remember how upset Misty was at the beginning of the season in the current timeline, wearing Natalie's jacket and like all
Yeah.
of this stuff just really broken up about Natalie's death.
Yeah.
And like it didn't quite click until the end of this season
Mhm.
when we see what happens in the wilderness when
You're
know
so right.
Yeah.
So
Mr.
I thought it
Secret
was just
and, like, yeah.
because I assumed it was because Natalie was the first queen and was like
Mhm.
Misty's kind of true queen, and she followed her around, like kissed her
No.
hand and stuff. But then it's because you're so right. It's because Natalie doesn't tell the rest of the group
Yeah.
that Misty broke the transponder.
That
That's
Misty
exactly
broke it.
so she owes her that, and like that's why
Yes.
she's diehard dedicated to her.
And Natalie gets them out, obviously. Natalie is
Yeah,
the catalyst.
hero.
And there was that one
Yeah.
line there's that one line in season 1 that was like a throwaway line that Ty said, "We owe her. We wouldn't be here without
That's right.
Natalie." And
Yeah.
we all
Right.
thought, like, is it because she was their first queen? Is it because she hunted for them? It's literally because she goes up the mountain and does the
Yeah.
transponder. Yeah. So things
I
are
mean,
like
Natalie is
falling
bad.
into
Like
place.
she is awesome. You know,
Yeah.
like
She's
she has this
incredible.
horrible childhood,
Right.
but then she's a hero who doesn't want to be the hero. She's like,
Right.
I'm gonna
Yes.
do whatever it takes to get it done. Because see, me, I'm not climbing up a mountain. I'm not climbing up a hill. None of that. Everyone else can do it. I will be down there cheering you on, and I will have
Yeah.
a meat pie waiting for you when you return of like
There you go.
Solar's
Right.
Park. You know what I
There
mean?
you go.
But I'm not
Yeah.
climbing up a mountain in the snow. But Natalie's just that chick. And I tell you what, I had to text Mary Payne 5 times after season 1, the finale, and say, wait, is she really dead? Wait,
Yeah.
Oh,
After
wait,
season 2, when she died. Yeah.
I was in disbelief. I was like, is she gonna come back? She's like, Keisha, she's dead. I'm like,
She's dead.
oh, well, that sucks. And I will say
felt I
this,
was upset. Yeah.
I think
Lottie's
you're so
retreat,
right.
I wanted to
Lottie.
go there. The retreat.
Yeah.
Had a
It
spa, the food was
was
good.
beautiful.
They had
Yeah.
animals to
Although
pet
they made that one old guy go into like his own grave at some sort of rebirthing ceremony. I wasn't really
I
down
get
for
it.
that, but
I would not have chosen to
I would
partake in
hold the
that activity.
goats.
I would hold the
I would play with
goats.
the goats and be
Yeah.
very happy. But I
Yeah.
think what you said was so interesting. Like Natalie is the leader, but doesn't want to be. And that's
Yeah,
the kind of leader you want. You want like a
exactly.
reluctant leader, because Shauna wanted it so badly.
So
She was
bad.
writing in her diary last season, like, I can't believe they didn't pick me. It's not me. And like
Yeah.
absolute power corrupts absolutely, like with
Yep.
certain people. Like certain people should not have power. And Shauna is
She's
one of
one.
them.
Yeah,
And
it's just like, girl, you know.
she's scary.
And I wonder, does anyone from the real world do they know that she had this baby? Or is that like
Well,
one
Jeff
of the
knows.
secrets of the wood? Of course he
Jeff-
knows, but does anyone else know?
Does anyone else know?
Does she
I don't
have anyone
know.
else in her life? Like, does she even
She had
have friends?
parents.
We never see
Maybe.
them.
Yeah.
She went to this book club that she was lying about to Jeff so she could have an affair. And I was like, did she really
Yeah.
ever have a book club? But like, she doesn't really have friends because she had Jackie and Jackie's dead. She has Jackie's ghost
Yeah.
sometimes. But like,
Yeah.
she doesn't have
Yeah.
a lot. She has like a very small life. And she was going to
Yeah.
like, I think because she wanted to do all these things and like go to college and like all this stuff.
Right.
And then when she feels so guilty about Jackie, she kind of took over Jackie's life and became like the
Yeah.
girl who stays at home and marries the
Mhm.
high school boyfriend. And like she
Right.
feel like that's her penance or something, is like
I guess.
being in
Yeah.
that life, because there's no reason she still can go to college and like get, you
You're
know,
right.
not that you have to have a job. Like I'm not saying
No.
being a stay-at-home
But
mom,
it's
but
obvious
she's not
she has no
happy.
friends.
She's not-
Yeah,
Yeah.
she has
she's
no friends.
miserable.
She
Yeah.
she doesn't seem to like being a stay-at-home mom. So like
I don't know that she likes anyone.
I don't think she's not. When Jeff gave that speech
Good
to the
point.
guys and said like she's not a
Yes.
happy person, she is
Yes.
miserable and she wants everyone else
Mhm.
to be miserable too. I
That's
was like,
her.
yeah,
That's
right.
her. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Jeff. Poor Jeff.
Yeah.
Poor
You know,
Jeff.
Like, I mean, she
I
can't
hope
even
we
have
get
an
like
affair
a buddy
right.
comedy, like with Jeff and Callie on the run,
No,
like,
not
and we could
Callie.
follow them. No, you
Not
don't like Callie. I like Callie when she's with Jeff.
I
kind of.
don't like.
Like-
Okay, I agree with you both. I don't
I
like
hate
Callie,
Callie's annoying.
but I like
'cause
Callie's relationship with her dad. I
Yeah.
do like that. But
okay
I
with
mean,
it.
now we know she's
Callie-
a murderer too.
Now I kind of like her more because she's at least more interesting. Like, but in the first season, she was just that bratty teenager, and why she was so
was.
annoying in the first season. So at least
Yeah.
like
and that brought
they're
back
trying
memories
give
to
her
me of
more.
having a bratty teenager, and I'm like, I didn't like my child that much right there. I loved her, but I didn't like her.
But
I was
I didn't
scared
like
of her
her.
a little bit. I was a little bit afraid of her. It's just like, I don't
Teens?
know
Yeah.
you demon seed. Like one
Yes.
day you're a demon seed, next day you're the Easter bunny. It brought back memories, flashbacks, you know. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, but
Mhm.
I'm glad they got away. That was
Yeah.
perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good
now
setup for
Shauna
next
can be
season
like-
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
now
really-
Shauna has nothing. She's like
Nothing.
unfettered. She can go. She has nothing tethering her to like being a good person or
Good
the
person at
facade of a
all.
good person. She doesn't have to
No.
pretend to be a good person. She can just
But what's her goal other than that? Than being a bad
I don't
person?
know,
She
like,
doesn't
just
have
to
any
kill
mystery to
people?
hide. She didn't kill anyone. Like
There's
Right,
got to
like-
be something. Like there's part
Yeah.
of the
Good
backstory
question.
that we just don't know yet.
Yeah.
Or is
Like-
it that that Taissa and Misty are going to try to take her down? So her
They
season's going
have
to be like
to.
reacting to that.
I'm so
They
sorry.
have to take her down, or she'll kill them.
They
Yeah.
say something about this. They say something like, or what you did when you got back. That is referenced in reference to Shauna several times. So
Yeah, you're right.
what did
Mm.
Shauna
So
do
if
when she
we
got back? It's
So
something
if we
Shauna
do
does
get
when she
this-
gets off the plane. Like that.
So-
God dang, what else can she do?
I
Like,
don't know.
Well, we're thinking there's this other timeline, which not
Mm.
like a dimension, but like
Okay.
the teens getting back to
get back
real
home.
life.
Yes.
They have to
Mhm.
cover up what they did. Maybe
Mhm.
Katie had the idea that some people do come back with them, but start dying, or they're going
Uh-huh.
to start talking. So they have to kill them because they're going to talk about what happened,
Mhm.
or something.
There's something.
That could be
They are
really
better
interesting.
teenage girls than I, because as soon as I got rescued and saw my mom, I would confess everything. Like, this is what I
Aw.
did. Like, I could see myself bawling and just confessing everything, and then whispering in her ear, "Don't tell anybody, though." You know, I would have to tell my mom everything that we.
I
done
might
in
write
the
that
woods.
tell-all book that the reporter in season 1 wanted you to write. She said you could get
There you
several
go.
$1,000,000, and then who cares if people think you're a cannibal? You and the other people might try to kill you, though. That's the other. They know you're writing the book, you have to
Hey!
write the book and release it before they figure it out.
You offer me that cash, I'm singing
Mhm.
like a canary. I'm like,
Mhm.
And
several
that's
$1,000,000.
I know.
Yeah.
And then the problem is that it's not just that they're cannibals, right? Here's the deal:
No.
is that they don't want to talk about it because of the ritual aspects that they were the stuff that's
Yes.
like that people
The
would be
hunting.
like. People
Yeah.
understand the people that get stranded in the mountains and do what they have to
Yeah.
do. Those people are
Right.
not looked at, I would say, by the majority of people.
Well,
as,
they
like,
ate
you know?
their dead friends in the
They
Andes.
hunted.
Like that's
Right.
these
Keisha's
these friends were not
hunted.
dead.
They
They
were
hunted
Yeah.
them.
actively murdering to eat
Murdered.
them. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And by
That's the
picking
part
by
that
drawing
you-
cards.
That's
Drawing
insane.
cards in
Yeah.
a deck. And
Do you
then
know how mad I was
really
last night when Shauna, like, you could see her looking? I'm like, she's
Yes.
gonna clock it. She's gonna clock
She's
it.
gonna
Don't let her
clock it.
clock it.
Mhm.
And she clocked it.
Yep.
And I was
Oh,
like,
when the
this
playing
girl
with
is
the
pure
cards.
evil. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
she is,
she's
because when
horrible.
Mari got picked, she goes, "Tough break,
She was
Mar."
happy.
And she was like giddy. And then when Lottie killed
Because she
that
doesn't
bird
like
guy,
her.
when Lottie killed the frog guy at the beginning,
Yeah.
like when they walked, she was like euphoric that someone just got murdered in front of her. Like there's something wrong with that girl. That's
lot
not
of
for
stuff.
survival.
Let
That's not
let me
survival.
ask
No.
a question though that I need help with. What's the deal with the hair? Why did she want Mari's hair? And she said specifically, "Hey, and when you're done, bring me her hair."
Jealousy.
Okay,
I
so
think it's
Is that it?
jealousy. I think so.
Okay, I like
I
that.
do. Yep.
do you
I like
so well she first took the hair of Hannah the frogger when Hannah was running in the woods and her hair got caught on a limb. Shauna was tracking her, saw the hair, knew that's the way Hannah went. She took the hair. Then there's a scene where she's laying in her cabin tent at night and she's playing with the hair between her fingers. She's playing with Hannah's hair like it was a prize because they captured Hannah. So I think it
So
is
it's like
jealousy and
scalping.
like it's kind of like scalping and like a weird souvenir trophy of like a killer.
Yeah.
Like the pelts that they wear. I
did
mean, a
not think
pelt
about
is
that.
animal hair. Like a
Yeah.
pelt is just bear fur. So then she like also wants the hair of it's
It's pain,
she's
regardless.
Buffalo Bill, like wanting like little trophies of her. There's something, she's scary.
It was
Yeah.
really
Oh,
creepy.
God.
That creeped me
It was
out. That
super
line
creepy.
was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
why? Why? I don't like
Yeah.
that." And also disrespectful. I was like,
Yes,
"No,
it
please
was.
don't give them my
Yeah.
hair. Like, just let me have my head
That.
intact with the hair attached to it. I don't want
Yeah.
any of this nonsense." Like,
Yeah.
it feels like it just feels like cutting her hair off is
It's a
mean.
power move.
Yeah.
It's like
It
supposed to
is.
humiliate
Right.
someone. Like
Yeah.
in the movies when they kidnap someone and then cut their hair, it's like to make them feel weak because like
And she
they
had
took-
long hair, so she
She did.
probably
She had
took
that,
a
Yeah.
lot of pride in her
long,
hair.
short
Mhm.
Yeah, really
making
pretty
something
hair.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
somebody's
And
proud of.
so she knew that was something that she was proud of, was her hair, and she was cute. I just think it was some
Yeah.
weird jealousy thing going on, and
I
now
think
it's
you're
like,
right.
oh, look at you now. Now I've got your hair, you
Right.
know. So
Mhm.
she's just angry.
And I
troll.
don't think she
They're
believes
making her
at all. I don't think she believes at all in the wilderness, because when she said like the
No.
animals, she goes, the animals are dead. She goes, well, we have to show the wilderness we respect it. We have to do a hunt. She just wanted to do a
She
hunt.
doesn't believe that.
She just
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
doesn't believe in that. She literally
No.
is just bloodthirsty and wanted
Yes.
to hunt. And
Yep.
It's clear
she
now
was
in the current timeline she never believed in it. It's like
never
very
believed in it.
clear that
Yeah.
it's like no.
Yeah, she used it as an excuse.
She
Most
did.
definitely.
And Lottie had Akila kill the animals to make them not need the will. I can't even remember now. Why did she
It was
do
to
that? That was
encourage him to have
so
to make a
weird.
sacrifice to the wilderness.
To have to make, yes, they had to make a sacrifice,
So
and it
that-
had to be one of them.
So Natalie
So-
can get away? Is that why? Like does the
No, she
I don't
doesn't
think
want
so.
Natalie to get away. Lottie
She wants
doesn't
to
want
stay
Natalie
there.
to get away. She
No,
wants
but
to stay.
Akila did the animals. Akila killed all her animals.
Right.
So
That was
Natalie-
very. I felt like that was the plot hole, because Akila kills the animals for Lottie so they
Lottie.
could do a sacrifice to the wilderness. But then she goes to the cave and says to Lottie, Travis told me you're full of crap, and it's just you're a
Akila's
liar.
Akila's on Team Natalie. Akila's
Is she?
on
I can't tell.
Natalie.
I think she is, but because I think she's realized that Lottie is full of poop and it's not
Yeah.
real, and it's just the gas, and like she's like, you made me believe I like had these visions.
special
Then why did you
powers.
actually
Yeah.
kill the animals? Like,
They
why
show a
did you
I think
kill
they're
the
all
animals?
scared. I think they're
Yeah,
all
and she-
scared.
Yeah.
You know, they're all scared. They don't know what to believe. And it's just kind of like if one person says something, they'll go that way. If someone
Yes.
else
Yes.
says something, they'll go that way. They just
Plus,
don't
they're
know.
teenagers.
They're
They're
teenage
teenagers.
girls.
Their
Yeah.
frontal lobe is not even developed. So I guess we
No,
can't.
yeah. Yeah.
Plus, Akila has had so many brain cells killed by that gas in the cave. Like, I don't know how many brain cells she has left anyway.
I'm
Poor
going to say
girl.
this, and then I got to go because Mary Payne's waiting on me to record.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Akila, girl, whoever did your braids did those braids because they are still there looking pretty good after like a year and a half. You need to go back and like hashtag like whoever did your hair because your braids still look good. I would have had to shave my head bald because I would have been walking around looking crazy. But I'm like, Akila, you can even still.
She does look
hair.
really good.
No,
She
there's
looks
no-
pretty good.
Because Natalie's roots are grown out to here.
Yes,
But like,
Well,
uh-huh.
and we've
Akila
had a
still looks
haircut.
really
Ty
good.
cuts her hair off, remember? Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
had haircuts
yeah.
for
I cut
this,
her
but,
hair.
like,
Yeah.
Akila's like, I'm sticking with this.
Akila's
Like,
like, I'm Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
right.
Handled.
Well,
love
thank
it.
y'all
Oh my
for having me.
Thank
This
you
was
so much. It's so
fun.
nice to
Thank
meet
you, everyone.
finally.
Subscribe to the Libra Lounge with Keisha. I know Mary Payne
There's
is in
Mary
the
Payne.
comments
Okay.
being like, she's
Hi,
supposed to be
Mary Payne.
recording with me.
Did she put that on
they-
there?
She
She
just said,
did. She said,
Okay,
"Girl,
I'm
Keisha's
coming.
supposed to be
I'm
recording with
coming.
me right now. Y'all
I'm
stealing my
coming.
talent."
She's coming.
Okay.
Thank you,
I'm coming.
Keisha. Thank
Bye.
you so
It was
much.
nice meeting you, Katie.
So nice to meet you
Bye.
finally. Bye.
Okay.
Yay, love her.
That's great.
Okay, Sarah's coming on, and then I really can go to the bathroom.
Yes, of
because
course.
you
No,
two know
sorry,
each
I did not-
other.
I thought
You two know each other, so then I can leave you guys
I could
to
have
chat for
talked
just a
with
sec. while
Keisha. I
run.
had
No, you
I have
totally
a
could
comment that I'm curious if Sarah has something that I was
Sarah
thinking
is
about.
like the deep thinker, you know?
Yes, I have a
Like,
few deep thoughts,
she's-
and I'm sure she has some for me. So I'm ready
Yeah.
to go. Get ready for
Sarah,
some
we're
deep.
ready whenever you are. I can't see
deep
your
thinking.
camera, but
She's
okay,
in
there
the
you
chat.
are.
I
Okay,
saw her in the
tell.
chat.
Are you ready, Sarah?
You
I know
ready,
she's
Sarah?
been in the chat. She's ready. Okay, she's coming on. There she is. What are you hunting us? What is going on?
She's done it. There she is.
You look like that looks like Van's.
Yeah,
Kind
it
of.
does.
Van has like the mohawk one that is like, she has the hair in
Oh,
the back.
goodness.
Rangers for the win. I love Van.
Ah.
Oh, now-
Are you
I love
sad
it.
about Van?
oh,
How do you feel about that?
I'm running to the bathroom. I'm so glad
Yes.
you're here, Sarah.
Okay.
Yes. The long-awaited bathroom break that we'd be hearing about.
She's
Hi,
going.
chat. Hi,
How did you
everybody.
feel? How do you feel at the end now? Do you have
Well,
thoughts?
yeah, I have some. Your guests have been amazing, and the chat's been absolutely wild.
Has it?
coming
I
up with
tend to
some
not look. Oh,
amazing
good.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I have plenty of thoughts. I just wanted to say that the dead soccer team in the Andes referenced earlier,
Yes.
they gave permission. They gave permission to their. They only ate their teammates who gave permission before they died.
Sorry, there've been a few different groups that have done this,
Oh yeah,
like a few
so this is
different missing,
yeah.
like the Donner family, right? And then there was is
Mhm.
the Andes, the soccer team in the Andes, is that the one that the movie was just recently won like
Oh
an
yeah,
Academy
yeah.
Award? That
So
movie is
there's a
heartbreaking. I watched it
it's brilliant.
twice. I don't know why. I just like the story is very like inspiring and hard, and it's incredible to watch. I hope the movie did them
Hi,
justice. I
Julie.
appreciate it.
Julia. Sorry, squinting at the screen.
Oh,
Yeah. So that film is called Society of the Snow, and
Society of the Snow. Yes,
it's on
that's it.
Netflix, and it's absolutely beautiful
Watch
and
it.
heart-wrenching, and just
It's
incredible.
so
Have you
sad.
seen Society of the Snow, Kimberly? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so like, oh my goodness.
But also
I
the
can't
interesting
imagine.
thing is they got the plane for the team and a few brothers and hangers-on and all of that, and they had
Mhm.
two seats left, so they just sort of put them out and said, "Oh, who wants these?" And that's how the two German boys came to be on the plane. They didn't know anybody. So, so moving. So they were the ones that prepared the meat, let us say, because they
Mhm.
didn't know them, and they were saving the boys'
Oh.
They
chickens
didn't
from
know
their
them.
friends. Yeah, they didn't know them, so they'd go aside, but only, as I say, only the people who gave permission before
Well,
they died.
Yes, they
going
gave
back to this show,
Let's.
Queen Shauna keeps making Natalie, like, giving her the punishment to prepare the food, like, to prepare the friends, you know?
Yeah.
But then watching it again, that's Hannah in that last feast. So because Hannah is pretending to be her so that Natalie can get away. So Hannah, who is very new to this group, has to cut Mari, like, bleed her out and prepare without knowing how to do that. That is impressive, I guess,
Well,
but
but
also
also Shauna
sad.
was there giving instructions to some extent.
But she would have had to pretend that she kinda knows what she's doing because
True.
she didn't know that that was Hannah.
Hannah
So,
is fighting for her life. She killed John
wouldn't
Cale.
so here was my thought. So if she really wants to get out, Joel McHale acts like he knows how to get them out, even though the wilderness has sort of brought them in because the compasses are spinning and stuff. So they might not really have a way out. But why would you kill the one person? My thing would be have Joel march them out to
Mhm.
civilization, but right before you get to civilization, then you kill Joel McHale and you say, "See, I know you were thinking of killing me because you don't want people at home to know what you've done. Now I have a deep, dark secret too. So I
Yeah.
won't tell people what you've done because you can't tell people what I've done. I have killed Joel
But
McHale." But then you still at least get to the civilization.
Yeah.
See what
true,
I'm
but
saying?
she was I'd say exactly what you're saying, but she was protecting the conspiracy because they gave her
Yeah.
the knife and she was part of the
Right.
conspiracy. And then the question was,
Right.
who
So she
gave you
says
the
he has
knife?
the knife.
She said he
Yeah.
did. Bang, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, Joel, I agree with you completely. Joel McHale is a total distraction. Should have
I
been
agree.
literally. I love him, but it should have been literally anyone else. So
Yeah. I
Thank
think I
you.
just love him too much and he's always in funny roles to me. So I just
I have a
it
thought
threw me.
experiment for both of you and our
Okay.
listeners. What if this is the end? What if this was the last scene
Yeah.
of the last episode that you had
Right.
seen?
If it's not renewed.
Yep. I know.
Yes, or say it deliberately finished here. What would your thoughts be?
Mhm.
Uh,
I mean,
I
my
think they
first
did
thought
it
is I
on
love
purpose in case
Shauna.
it is. I think this was on
Yeah,
purpose. I think
yeah,
that
because I
having
love
Kid Girl
Shauna
now.
just
Yes.
microwaving something. It's just
Um,
in an empty house with that T-shirt on. Brilliant.
what's the T-shirt?
It's a band shirt.
Was it a band? Oh, I need to see what
Mhm.
band it was. I feel like
Yeah,
that's
I
a
think it's one of
band.
to me, it meant she's wearing one of Callie's T-shirts. wandering
Oh.
around the empty house on her own wearing a t-shirt. from
That
her daughter.
sad microwave meal, that was just so she's, like, all alone making a microwave meal, and then,
Brilliant.
like, this is what her life has become, but now she's,
I
like,
mean,
gonna reclaim it and writes in the
Wow.
journal that
This is what
yeah.
you reap what you sow, isn't it? I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
that's all
even
that she's left with because her family's gone. The family that she would normally cook for, like, a nice meal or kill a
begrudgingly, though.
rabbit for. Oh, she
Did
would
she
kill a
did
rabbit.
she
She
like doing that? Did we get the
No,
feeling that Shauna was ever, like,
no, that's a
in
good
love with
point.
being, doing the sort of domestic businesses?
Jake says the band was throwing muses, and she's
Yes.
also worn a built to spill shirt.
Oh, well,
i.e.
then maybe
blood.
they are her shirts. I just imagined they were
Did
Callie's.
Jake say
They're
Callie,
Jake
90. It's a
it's
90s
got it.
band, Sarah. So she's
but the
Jake is saying
kids,
she
they
wears a
love.
lot of 90s.
Okay, all right. In my head canon, it was boring. How do they write such interesting teen girls in the wilderness? And Callie is like, just shut up, Carl. Right? I mean, she is
I
uninteresting.
find her less annoying this season,
I
but
don't.
she's still an annoying teenager, and she's nosy and she's trying to dig into things. She
She's
should just leave things
entitled.
alone.
Mhm.
She's entitled, but she was raised by these two people, especially Shauna, who's like super dysfunctional. And that was sad when she said, "Does my mom love me?" Because I just don't feel like she does.
I
Yeah.
didn't
And
think that was sad, I think is the problem. I really want to be invested with Callie. We have the juxtaposition of these teenagers in the wilderness, right? And so
right,
when we go back into real time and have this teenager, I don't know
yeah,
where the disconnect is. I have it with a
Yeah.
few characters in this, but Callie is one, and I'm trying,
Yeah.
and I know that that's supposed to be sad, but I'm sort of like, okay, like, I get it.
to
Yeah.
me, it was sad because we had a scene last season where Shauna was in the police station and she talks about how she's shut down, put up so many walls because she doesn't think she deserves love, and she won't let herself love her family, and she won't let herself love her child because she lost this child. And so then when this season Callie was like, "Does my mom even love me?" I was like, "Oh, that because she said she like doesn't let herself," and like it was a whole
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
I'm
okay, I didn't
I
remember any
needed
of that.
Callie. I needed Callie to be wilder somehow. Yeah, she smokes dope. So
Yes.
fucking what? Who didn't?
Yeah,
You
the
know, and
dope,
I just
the
think
smoking weed is annoying that they always but did you like the scene where she threw the guts? I didn't think the guts scene with her friends where she threw the bloody guts was that
If that
great.
was the
Like,
start of
need-
something else.
she needed to be thrilled by it in the same way that we see Shauna. And there needed to be some connection. It's almost like because we have the teenage wilderness actors and the older version actors coming together, which I absolutely adore. But somehow Callie should have been a reflection of her mother. Goody two shoes. What if she was, buttoned up to the neck,
Sure.
perfect
right.
braids, perfection child. She's
Mhm.
just like general sitcom child, general dramedy child. She's too
You know what?
general for me.
Sarah, that is a really good point, and I am beginning to think, what if they had done Callie in a way with that buttoned up, that very, like, overachieving, straight A's, like, very much, just plays it safe, and
Mhm.
then we get this other edge. And then
Yes.
it's shocking, and you're like, "Wait, what?" Then it becomes something else where it's like, "Oh, there is something to her being Shauna's daughter." And then it's
Yeah.
this other side that we don't see where all of a sudden the guts come out of nowhere if we do that. And you're like, "Wait, what?" She is acting out, but instead it just sort of seems like this entitled, pretty petulant teenager for most of the season doing
Mhm.
something that's kind of getting mom's
In
attention.
her
But
wheelhouse. It's sort of in
yeah.
her wheelhouse. Whereas if
Mhm.
she's straight A, buttoned up, perfect child, does the dishes, cooks for the family, hoovers without being asked,
That's it.
which is
Putting her
another way of trying to get your mother's love. It's just like,
Sure.
what would be
I'm
perfect enough for
perfect.
you?
Look at me.
And then she breaks bad. I really like that idea. Now, did anybody
Should we
else
write
hear
an email?
Van say, yeah, strongly worded email?
Strongly worded
Yeah.
email. Mhm.
Did
Kimberly, are you on
anybody
board?
else?
Yeah, of course. I
Okay.
love a strongly worded email.
But are you on board with that theory?
Okay.
Button up.
Callie, I'm actually liking Callie a lot this season, like much more than I ever have before. So I'm not as like in need of a
You will
rewrite.
not be on the email then. This will be from us. We will be half of Date with
You
Dateline
could
and Crime Scene Podcast.
BCC
And half of,
me.
yeah.
Like I'd be fine with
Half
being
of-
CC'd or BCC'd.
We'll CC you. I think BCC
Yeah.
is the work of the devil.
Okay.
Sorry, we've covered it. We've covered it. Sarah, continue. I interrupted you. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to say, did anybody else hear Van, objectively the best character in both timelines? Did anyone else hear Van
We love
say,
Van.
"We ate a kid"?
Yes. Javi.
Yeah, I did. I did hear that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Harvey the kid, not the baby.
Javi. No, Javi's the kid.
Okay.
No,
Better not be
it's
the baby.
definitely Javi.
Okay.
At least I'm assuming it's Javi. Javi was,
She would have said baby.
yeah.
She would have said we ate a baby.
Well, unless you're trying to.
Oh, I'm nervous
But
about that.
Shauna like held that baby and buried that baby in a secret
That's true,
place so
yes.
they
All
wouldn't
right,
find
that's
it.
true.
So
So
I
that
think
just so that they wouldn't eat. Okay, that was just a
my
little dangling
my
thread.
question about Van is the ending when she's dying and she's with Teen Van, and Teen Van said, I should have gone back and watched it.
This is
It's
your Harry
something
Potter
like,
prophecy. We're back there
it
again,
is.
by the way.
It's
We
my
are
Harry
back to
Potter
you and me
prophecy.
going over and over the weird wording that they gave the prophecy of he cannot live who dies with the blurgity.
He
Like,
cannot live.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know
he
what I'm talking
what
about.
he must not live while the other must die. Yeah. So
We're right back there again.
Teen Van says something to adult Van who's dying, like it's not the end, or you'll be back, or this isn't
Yeah.
this isn't
You'll
it.
be back.
And
Did you
so
catch that, Sarah? Like in the plane?
I caught it, but I think that there are some lines that are written by these writers that are given this portentous weight and then turn out to not have meaning, which is really very annoying. So
yeah,
Okay.
it is very. I agree that could be
Yeah.
something that is driving me crazy for no reason. So because you watch with such an analytical eye, I want to know your thoughts on my unofficial poll: team
Yes.
supernatural or team mass delusion, mass hysteria, trauma, poison gas, etc.
Well,
Poison mercury.
are we not in our unknowableness, in our very minds and souls that are occluded and not known to anyone else, let alone ourselves? Is that not the supernatural?
She got you.
She does.
I think
She got me.
I think it's biological. I think it's a mass, partly a mass, partly the internal, because there's so much about this internal stuff that I think it is real, but I find that reality is very, very strange. This is what I don't understand. I mean, I'm an atheist. I don't understand. Isn't this enough? Look at the vastness of space, and that we have flown out into that space, that we have dived into the ocean, that we live, that we are born at all, that we speak, that we make things, that we find each other, that we find our communities.
It is magical. Yes.
Isn't that enough? To me, that is the supernatural in our natural. We are animals. We're not the only animals who use tools. We're not the only animals who use reasoning. We're not the only animals who use language. We've got opposable thumbs, basically. That's it.
But other animals have relationships and family groups and hierarchies and things like that.
But this
So what's
idea
so
of
special
reality,
about us?
yeah, being the supernatural goes along with that idea of belief too. Lottie believes in the entity that is the wilderness, that she has created it into something that is definitely supernatural. That is, Lottie has created that belief structure around it, right? Certain people are believing with her in the camp. Certain people are pretending to, certain people are not. But then I think that what the writers on the show specifically are doing, though, is pretty clearly pointing to, no, this is maybe not an alien. Like, this is not something like that. This is something that's supernatural in the way that you're talking about, where it's
us.
part of their existence has become
Mm-hmm.
supernatural, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not. But by them having the frog people come, and all of a sudden you're realizing that the sounds that they've been hearing in the wilderness are the mating call of this frog, right? They're pointing to, they're sort of slowly taking down these things that seem otherworldly, that seem
Mm-hmm.
not real, like, oh, they are things that are explainable. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
There are
It's
things.
like that are unexplainable
Well-
in our world. We haven't explained them yet. It's like, I mean, you've
That's
both been
true.
in around
That's
actors
true.
and acting exercises, and anyone in the chat who's done this, where you get a group of people and you all hum a certain note, and then
Oh,
above that note rises a harmonic. That there's a note that nobody is singing that exists in the air and that we
Oh,
hear.
right.
It's
Mhm.
magical and incredible, but it's also like it's physics. It's sound waves, it's air, it's our ears, it's all of that sort of stuff. So, and I also think that in the world there are mysteries, there are things that we don't know. There are UFOs. In other words, there are unidentified flying objects. We don't know what they are, but they don't come from space. They're something from us. So to me, the world is amazing and magical, and that there are connections and coincidences that exist. We don't have to make up more stuff. And you get a group of sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just thinking that a group of young people, and I have to play the gender card and say particularly women, young women, you get them together. I've been in mass hysteria type situations, Beatlemania. May I give you Beatlemania? There's an excitement of the group. It's like the harmonic note that plays above. There's something about the group where, have you ever been in that situation where you think there's someone I'm not counting? There's 5 of us here, but I feel like there's a 6th that's traveling with us.
Right.
It ain't Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
It's that feeling of, or you can't count it, or you always miss one. If you've got 7, it's like, how come you can't ever think of the 7th one, but it's a different 7th one every time you try and think of it. I love all that stuff. I find it absolutely fascinating. And that's where I think that
memories are very flawed, and if we are not having reliable narrators because they're teens, or because are we actually seeing what exactly happened? Like, did Lottie walk across those sticks and not break them? Did
Yes.
the whooshing magical come and drop Jackie's body down and cook her? Like, or was it something totally explainable that happened? Like, I don't know how we're receiving this information. Like, are we receiving it through them telling us, but we're supposed to believe them? Did they each experience this, how it actually happened? If you give 10 jurors, or 10 witnesses to a crime, they all experience it differently and remember
That's
it
a
differently.
really good point.
So
yeah.
And they're teens, their frontal lobes are not developed, they're hormonal, they're hungry, they're going through a trauma situation. Like, that can change perspectives of things. So
Just a little question that goes along with this, actually, for both of you. This is about Shauna's journals. Maybe I'm not misremembering, but Shauna's journals, I'm assuming, stop at some point. She stops writing because she's writing.
I don't know if she stops or if she stops telling the truth, because she definitely didn't write about everything. She didn't
That's what
write
my
about the
question is.
Froggers.
Jeff did not read everything. So
He didn't know about the Froggers.
I think the journals stop. I think they stop at a certain point. We don't see her writing, right, in the wilderness anymore. And then all of a sudden,
maybe because she wants to stay. So she's like, why do I need to remember this? And she stops wanting to, she's like, she was writing at some point, as a record of what would happen. And then why does she need that if they're going to stay there? And
why does she pick it up again now? What does the writing in the journal mean? I'm not a journal writer. So I'm asking, what is that? If she stopped at some point in the wilderness and then has not written, and then now, so there's those early journals of wilderness time. Jeff has read all those, and now we see her at the end of this season pick up the journal again.
To me, that last scene was not like a journal. It was almost like a letter, like a note explaining what she's gonna do next. It was almost like like a murder manifesto type letter. Like
I
she's
saw it as the
like
journal. I saw it as the
you saw
journal,
it as a
and that's
journal.
and that's the notebook that she has, and that the notebook, the little notepad,
It's a
and that tells us
notepad,
that she
right?
hasn't been journaling all this time because she doesn't have
Right.
it. She doesn't open her journal to the next page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I want to get to the return of the teenagers. All season by the end of season 2, I thought, great, I've had the wilderness, got
You're
it.
ready. Yeah.
I'm ready for the return of the teenagers. Because when Coach Ben went off, my
Mhm.
headcanon was like, oh, he goes off, he gets rescued, but he says everybody else is dead.
That
And
would have been
then they
so
get
good.
found,
Oh, I do
and
kinda wish that
then they have to face it. So there's a thing about getting out, there's a thing about escape. I love them not wanting to leave. I love them having different reasons for not wanting to leave. And one of the big ones is fear, you know. It's
Yeah.
lock someone up in a cage for long enough and abuse them for long enough and leave the cage open. You know, as we know from young girls who are kidnapped, and then people say, yeah, but 2 months later you were walking to the shop with your abuser and you never said a word, and there were
Yeah.
people all around you. So
Actually,
that
someone
cause
on
of
Reddit
control.
said they have Stockholm syndrome to the wilderness, kind of, or like to
Yeah,
Lottie.
yeah.
They kind of have Stockholm syndrome, or like to
It's
Shauna as
fear.
the ruler. They're kind of just, yeah, it's like you know that you're safe there at the moment. So
Mhm. Not dead yet.
no, we had so many ideas last season. We were like, Coach is gonna get rescued and he's gonna say they're all dead. We said there's gonna be 2 factions and they're going to have to fight over who gets to leave, or because one group won't want to leave, or they're gonna leave some of the girls behind because they're afraid they'll tell on them. Do you think more girls make it out alive and then start dying in the present tense in civilization?
I do.
I love the idea of
I know
leaving
Katie
someone
does.
behind, but Lottie is really the obvious one to stay behind, and we know she doesn't. This is part of
I
what
think
Rebecca
she's
was
probably
talking
rescued
about.
against her will. I think
I
they
I
kind of
couldn't
maybe
agree
drag
more.
her back. Yeah.
Absolutely. But if someone's hiding in a cave or something. But I think what Rebecca or Kevin said was that one of the problems for me too is the peril in the past, because we know who's alive. We didn't know about Melissa, so but the main people can't die because we know they don't, because we've
Right.
seen them in there was a time when we didn't know whether Van died because we hadn't met adult Van.
We assumed she
So there
did,
was,
but then
there
then
was
they revealed the
peril, and then,
casting of Lauren Ambrose and we were like, "Oh,
thank
adult
God, yeah.
Van is a real
Yeah.
person." Yeah.
Come on, come through the rangers. So I think I like the idea, because if we think about Melissa, what we know now is that she was rescued and then
Mhm.
she wrote a suicide note
Uh-huh.
and nobody looked for her body. So I
She
was
faked her
wondering, because
death.
I've heard,
Yeah.
well, yeah, and I've been wondering about, since hearing you say about do they start dying? It's that idea of nobody looked that hard, because it's, oh, Melissa, she was one of those girls. She was a Yellowjacket. So it makes sense that she killed herself. So
Mhm.
we don't look for her as a missing person. We are primed to understand that she would have committed suicide, because there have been other suicides or deaths. One thing I want is, if that happens, and should already have happened with the main cast who've died, the manner of death should match something from the wilderness or something from the past.
Mhm.
So if you escape
Like a
that
symbolic.
time, yeah, or you
It's
live by
Final
the sword, you
Destination,
die
like
by the sword. Yeah,
we talked about Final
That's what I
Destination,
said
like if
about Van,
it
the fire.
was always
yes,
coming.
what
Yeah,
Katie keeps
and
saying, the
she should
fire.
have
Yeah,
burned.
exactly. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
very odd. It felt like that was not originally written that way. I have to be honest. I was very surprised at that. That whole scene didn't make a lot of, I don't
I
know
Well,
didn't
what
why.
like her
happened,
dying of
the way
I didn't
that,
like
like
her dying of cancer. I loved her having cancer. I
Mhm.
loved her remission. That was absolutely magical. We don't
Mhm.
know why that happens. And
Right.
then have her die in
from
in the
Melissa.
moment, in an accident, when people just get snatched away between one moment and the next,
Mhm.
they lie down for an
Well,
afternoon
that's
nap
what's
and they die,
okay. So
you know?
that's what's interesting. So, like for Javi, for example,
Mhm.
died not because he was supposed to die. He didn't draw the card, but he tried to help Natalie find a place to hide, and then he fell in the ice, and then she didn't rescue him, and they let him die because the wilderness chose. Then, when they all go to Lottie's resort, Shauna draws the card. She's the one they're supposed to hunt. But through a series of unfortunate events like a mousetrap game, um, Natalie gets stabbed with the needle. So it's like an accident. And then Van was supposed to die from cancer, but because Shauna went after Melissa, and then she tried to rescue Melissa, then she tried to kill Melissa, but couldn't do it. Then Melissa kills her. It's all like so haphazard, but then they go, well, that's what the wilderness wanted. It just happened that way. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's like
I know.
it's never
And
like who is supposed
it's
to
God's
go,
will.
except it's
If you
God.
have,
It
if
just
you in your country, unfortunately, and I don't live there, so I can't get deported. In your country,
But
people
we
say,
are
"Oh,
live on YouTube.
God's,
don't
God's
say
will,
too much of that stuff.
God's
God's
will."
will. God's will.
It's God's will.
Uh,
But yet you pray. This is what I don't get. Sorry, just a little discourse here. She's dead, but my mother is sick. Please pray for her. But it's like, if everything's
Mhm.
God's will, then you're asking God to change his or her or their mind. Sorry, anyway, that's beside the point. So I find the idea of the wilderness so powerful because it means that those women, girls, through their lives and now women, everything is not their fault. They have the
100%.
ultimate get out of jail free card by
They can blame it all on the wilderness.
the
It
wilderness.
chose. We didn't do it. 100%.
We
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just all
that is
recorded. Oh,
actually
Nicole,
true.
sorry. Nicole, it wasn't me. It was shadow me. Oh, by the way, talking about good, which we weren't, talking about good time, bad time. To me, much more interesting is integrated Shauna, who has both alive at the
Yeah.
same time.
So Katie said that
The
at the beginning.
separation
She
is
said
like, dull.
that's that you think the separation is dull, but what's interesting about Shauna is that she kind of has both sides to her. I don't see
Yes.
much of good Shauna anymore, or maybe never did. I don't know.
Well,
But
but you can see how externally how she's viewed, how she dresses, her hair,
yes.
a little wisp of mascara, nothing more.
But Shauna also still doing sort of the right things ostensibly, like when
Trying.
so think about her actions to take Jeff and Callie out of the house because she actively thinks someone is coming to harm them. So she makes sure they're gone too. She doesn't just herself take off. She's like, stay
Right.
here, do not leave this room. So there
That's
is
true.
like that is a
And
protective act that she's
she did
doing.
seem
She
really
is
sad
the bad.
when she
She is the
heard Van
bad.
was dying. She did
Yeah.
say like, "Oh, that," she did seem
She's got
genuinely
both.
sad when
She went
she
and got
thought
that
Van was
cat.
dying.
She went and got the
She
cat.
did go get that cat. She rescued a cat.
Yes.
I think that's what's interesting about the show is it's not like this is a good person, this is a bad person. And
That's
we're
on
all
purpose.
black.
Yeah.
Where it's all
Mhm.
shades of gray, and
Yeah.
humans are flawed people, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like somebody in the chat was talking about that they wanted to go to Lottie's conscious community. There were moments there where you thought, oh, this would be, this would be a nice spa weekend. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing objective apart from the fact that it's a cult. There's, the actual surface of that conscious community is nice. And Lottie does not think she's a bad person. And I think the show is neutral on Lottie because we don't treat people with mental illness very well.
No.
We don't just have them in the community. Like in the old days, it would just be like, they're just in the community with you. And as long as they're not violent and dangerous, they can just be in the community with you. And that's not something that we do. So I like
But then the
that.
question on Lottie is gonna be, is she violent and dangerous? Is she dangerous? Is she
Oh, yeah, she's
causing
definitely
things
dangerous.
to occur
Yes.
in the wilderness
She
that are
Yes,
stabbed
she
the
setting
is.
Frogger in the back of the head. Yeah.
She is
Um,
definitely dangerous. Yes. But I
and
think
I am very
your
disappointed
question,
with the Lottie character end. I really wanted something, I wanted more secrets revealed in this area than what we got from Lottie. I wanted to know what her and Callie, I never feel like I got a clear vision of what Lottie thought was going on in the wilderness, and now we won't ever know, you know?
we might know.
Really?
There
Well,
might be
if
more.
there might be more, though there's certainly, if we have teenage returned Lottie in the loony bin, she may speak truths that everyone thinks, oh, well, she's crazy.
Yeah.
So we might find some absolute pure truth from
See,
her.
and I'm not 100% on. I believe Lottie has a lot of mental illness and is riling up these girls and doing a lot of harm for sure. But I also go back to that scene where she did stop the parents' accident. Like, I do believe she has some sort of like visions or something,
Clairvoyance.
that
Okay.
clairvoyance or something. So
Mhm.
if we believe in that, like, is that part of like, we kind of accept that in this world, or some people do and some people think all people who are like mediums are frauds? So it's like, could
Well,
you be both, like have mental illness? She had clairvoyance as a child, and then her parents put her on medication to get rid of it. Her dad did because he didn't like it. It was creeping him out.
Yeah.
because it's too female for him. Now, I think that
But
intuition
like
and all that stuff
that bear, like, what she saw, that they were gonna have food, and a bear walked up and kneeled in front of her, and then
according to who?
according to whose
Yeah.
narrator is this, and
I
are
was
they
worried it was a
reliable?
disease.
That
Yeah.
narrator's a good point. That's a good point.
But I think that when we see, you asked what we can rely on. I think when we see, particularly the girls from a distance, or we see them through shrubbery, or we see them from above, I think that's all real. Everything else is up for grabs. But that intuition stuff, we notice things that we don't know we notice, and that's a miracle as well. So, with the car accident, did she actually see something or sense something? But I love all that shit.
Right.
I love all that shit.
No, but that's
mediums
a good
aren't
point.
real.
Like,
They're
when
ripping you off.
someone goes to like get their memories unburied, because they actually do remember
Ah,
who the murderer was, because they saw
Yes.
something but they buried it, or that's but like, there are things, you're right, in this world, like deja vu. It happens to me all the time, and I don't know what that
Mhm.
is.
Oh, it's synapses firing.
But
Hmm.
I
We
remember
live,
some.
we
You know,
live just behind ourselves. So our experience is a nanosecond behind, how we consciously experience is a nanosecond behind what's happening in the world, which is why they don't know why you can catch a ball. Like by physics, you shouldn't be able to catch a ball. It's coming too fast. You don't have time to see it, calculate, and catch, but we can. So what happens in deja vu is the synapses reverse. So you feel like you have already seen it because you have.
interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, but isn't
I
that
love
wonderful?
that.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Like, why is that? Some people go, "Oh, you explained it. Now you've taken away the mat." No, you have. It's like
No, I
incredible.
mean,
How do
is
we
incredible. Yeah.
get through the world? How are we in any way normal when we are so bizarre and strange? We see things upside down, and our brain flips them around the right way for us.
Yeah.
What?
As
How?
like,
Well, that's so weird.
I think we can all agree that a redhead thing is saying, I hope this doesn't turn out Lottie in a psych facility dreaming all this up. Like, I hope this is not
Oh my god!
this is all in a snow globe and we're watching it all in a snow
Oh
globe
my
from
No,
a
I
child.
don't
Like,
think
I
so.
hate
it won't be
that.
something like
I
that.
think we're
They won't
leaning
do
more
that to
towards
us.
the last girl standing. They've brought it up multiple times this season.
The
I
final
don't know why
girl.
they haven't brought it up in past seasons, but it seems to be something that they've added, where there's one person. There can only be one, where it's
And then she
Highlander.
gets killed by Callie.
Oh,
Callie
yeah.
shouldn't get that here. Callie
Can
shouldn't
we
get
just
that
have
moment 'cause
Jeff?
she's boring.
Can Jeff being the last guy? I mean, it should be a
Jeff
woman, but I
having
do
to
love Jeff.
betray his wife. That
No,
was
it'll
brilliant.
be Misty. It'll be
It,
Misty.
If Jeff
100%
has
is Misty.
Misty
if
will be
J-
the
it'll
last
be
one.
Misty. If
Yeah.
Jeff has to kill Shauna to protect Callie, that to protect his
I
daughter,
more
he
think
has-
Shauna's going to sacrifice herself to protect Callie, which we're going to have to. Everyone's going to need to suspend disbelief and be like, "Oh, see, she was a really good person all along. How much she loved her daughter." Trust me, that's coming. I feel
Oh
like
no, I'm
that's coming.
shaking my head. You don't have to be good to do that because none of us are good or bad.
But that's the overall. That's how
Yes,
that is
that's
going to
the
be. I feel like
narratively.
that ultimate
Yes.
sacrifice of mother for child will be
Yeah.
will
Mhm.
be what
Well,
happens.
interestingly, Natalie sacrificed herself so that what's her face at the cult, Erica,
Yeah.
what's her name? I can never remember her name.
Jennifer.
The Jennifer, the cult girl,
No.
that was
Oh,
like
it's on
Lottie's
to my
prodigy at
tongue.
the cult.
I'm forgetting her name. Yeah.
She was about to get killed by Misty, and then Natalie sacrificed herself, which was like redemption for when she didn't save Javi and she let Javi
Mhm.
die in her place.
Mhm.
So like
Yes,
maybe
buy that.
Shauna, to make up for all of her deeds, would
Okay.
have to sacrifice herself or something. Maybe.
Yes.
I think so. I mean,
Or Shauna kills Callie. Or Shauna kills Callie.
Okay.
It
Well,
is in
Um,
Callie and it has to die.
so I mean, you were listing all the reasons why Misty should stay with Walter, and my big thing is he accepts her for exactly who she is.
yeah,
Talk about a reliable narrator. He is completely
likes her
reliable,
for those things. It feels like,
and is a
sees
friend
those,
of Keith Morrison. So what's not to like?
and that was
However,
adorable. That was really
however,
Yes.
sorry, I listen to Watch What Crappens all the time.
Did you say
and
however?
They do, yeah, because they
However.
do below deck recaps, and
Oh.
there's like this one season I listen to all the time where there's this Australian chief stew, and one of the like stews made mustard gas by accident because she was an idiot.
Ooh.
And she's always like, and so they kept doing like, they kept going, I appreciate that you were doing a reenactment of World War II in the galley, but
Wait, sorry, they're
however,
Australian?
this is
Oh,
my horrible accent, but they do it really well. But so I always have however like that in my
thought you were
head.
doing-
Anyway, I'm not doing it to mock Sarah. I just want to be clear.
It's okay. I thought
Um,
you were doing Jersey.
no.
I did like
Yeah,
to
I
just-
thought you were doing Boston.
I'm not good at accents, Katie.
You were very good
So-
at Jersey, so that's why I thought you were doing it. You are very good at
No,
3 or
I'm
4
good at-
specific
I
I'm
thought
good
you
at
were doing
Midwestern.
Boston. Yeah.
I can do Midwestern.
Massachusetts.
and Boston and Jersey.
I can do
See?
I
Minnesota.
can do Southern if I'm talking to Mary Payne.
Yeah.
You
So,
do Southern.
I did it to her. I
do you wanna
didn't
do it
mean
for us?
to. No, I can
Oh,
only
you
do it if
did?
I'm
You just
actually talking to
reflected
her.
back?
Oh,
I
Gotcha.
just
that's funny.
reflected
I
it
love
back.
that.
Yes.
That's the
yes,
best.
yes,
So
yes. You sure that stew isn't South African?
yes, my accent's just not good. So, but Walter
How's
does
it?
accept her how
How's
she
it,
is.
Kimberly?
Oh God, there are very many South African people on the show too, and it gets very
Yes.
confusing when there's
Yes.
Australian, British, South African. It's a lot.
On below deck? Okay, sorry, we
yes.
veered. Go. Sorry,
Yes.
continue. Say what you're saying.
We're
Because
weird like a
cruise
ship.
the ship industry attracts people from all over, so they can
Yeah.
travel the world.
I've worked on
So-
cruises as well,
but Walter does what we were saying before, does give off a bit of stalker energy, and
a million
I don't
percent.
want.
A million
I love Walter, and I think he does accept her, and I think they're a
does
perfect
Misty.
match. So is Misty, but
So
I
does
don't want the
Misty.
show to like
Yes.
encourage that sort of behavior or be
that
like
ship
we
sailed.
should go with a man who is like
No,
almost
they're not.
stalking
What
us.
they're trying to do is
Every
show you
rom-com
that these
tells you
2
it's
stalkers
okay.
have ended up together.
Soulmate,
right?
soulmate,
That's what they're
endgame,
doing. Yes, they're
endgame stalkers,
100%. That's what's happening.
star-crossed stalkers.
Star-crossed.
That's a new show.
It's almost like she should have drugged his drink, and then as he drinks it and as he's about to lose consciousness, it's like, oh, you magnificent bitch. You know, they should
Yeah.
haven't sworn yet and didn't swear. Bisque didn't swear then. But like the appreciation of each other's cleverness.
I can totally go with that. That makes me feel better. I just didn't.
Yes.
want him to like eventually turn on her, like if she tries to leave, like if he locks her in a basement like she did to the
But
reporter, you know,
he's
that
let
sort
her.
of
He
thing.
might. He
He's
might.
given her her space through almost
He
this whole season.
but this
Mhm.
last scene has him watching in a car as she's in the restaurant with
Brilliant.
Thaisa.
He's
I think
concerned
he
for her.
doesn't trust
maybe
any of
just
these
concerned.
Yellow Jackets.
Well,
And
shouldn't
he's
trust
like her
Thaisa.
bodyguard. He's like
Yeah.
a bodyguard kind of watching
Yeah.
her to make sure that she's okay.
And
I'm down with that.
I will always love you.
It's that
I'm
for sure.
that makes me feel so much better. I had
Yeah.
my concerns, but now I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
They are
He's not.
they're
The
my
thing is, he's a
dream
stalker,
couple.
but he's not a controller. He does not try to control her. He tries to reason with her. He tries to support her. He tries to
Yeah.
get
Right.
in on whatever her shenanigans are. So he
Yeah,
can
he doesn't
shenana
try to
with
change her. He
He doesn't
doesn't try to
change her.
change
He
her.
doesn't control her. He doesn't. I was going to say he hasn't bugged her phone, but actually he might have. But you know what I
He
mean?
might
Like he's
have
not.
bugged her phone though.
Yeah, he's not telling her that she can't see other conspiracy theorists.
But
I'm
why
Team
is she
Walter
pushing so hard against him?
because she doesn't
I
deserve love. Everybody's all her life has told her that.
Oh, I see. All right. That makes total sense. Yeah.
So
That's
it's not just that he keeps saying these aren't her real friends and she needs so desperately to believe that they are her real friends.
correct.
That is something a coercive controller would say. However, he's right. He's also right.
He's
I mean,
right.
she's
No,
caught on.
he is correct.
She's caught on
They
now
are
because
not
she's
her real
saying
friends.
things like, "Oh, you came to me before the last minute to ask me to clean it up, rather than after the last minute."
The rose-colored glasses are off with Shauna specifically.
They're
She's like,
broken.
"You were never my
Like a
friend. I get
lens.
it. You were." Oh, it's
Yeah.
symbolically because her glasses in the woods shattered.
Yes.
Someone said, is the crack on her glasses in the shape of the symbol? And I do not know if that has been confirmed or if they were just suggesting that. But I gotta go on Reddit and see if someone's done the
I'll find
outline.
out what Reddit says. Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
But
Also,
like
symbol?
we didn't get much of the symbol. We saw Hannah doing hangman with Melissa, and it was clearly making the symbol when she was doing
I need to know at this point.
hangman.
I would rather have had that revealed than Pit Girl. I could have waited on Pit Girl.
Well,
I
hopefully
needed...
when we get the Cabin Daddy episode, then
If that's
maybe
real.
that will be revealed about Pit Girl.
I could
If
have
it's real.
waited forever on Pit Girl because Pit Girl could have been all the girls that ever ran through the woods, all the girls that ever died, all the girls
Agreed.
that never were.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I totally think. Do we want to, before we go, do some sort of prediction for next season? Does anybody have any ideas on what we think will happen?
I think Shauna is going to just try to burn everything down because she's unfettered with family now. She might try to like win them back first, her family, but then I hope they stand their ground. They might just come back to each other and then just have lasagna and be a boring family. I don't know, but I hope not.
Well, they
Misty
have
and
to continue
Ty
the storyline in the current time. So, like, you got to have some action happening. We don't have...
So Misty and Ty now actively trying to take down Shauna because they think she wants to be the last one standing, and that is great. I can't wait to see them buddy up.
Is that why they want to take her down, or is it because she is a huge danger to them? They're implicated in the... Say Melissa had died, they would be implicated. Oh, as true crime people, because presumably Melissa's run off, never to be seen by her family again.
Melissa too, yeah.
Yeah, so what is that? How do you solve that crime scene when her wife and child come in and find what they find? Brilliant. I mean,
they
we'll
find
never know,
blood,
but
I'm assuming, and I don't know if they cleaned it up.
Type it, and it's, you know, Shauna started to clean it up with her yellow gloves. So, but you know, luminol exists. Or what's that other brand? Jeff and Kelly start a podcast. Yes, Julia.
Yes, Jeff and Kelly start a podcast.
Yeah,
that's good.
Okay,
that's a really good point, Melissa. I have a feeling Melissa maybe joined.
No, that's the last we see of Swanky Doodle, I think.
Say again?
No,
legacy of
they're not gonna
Snickerdoodle.
just.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
think that she's just
They
gone?
burned John McHale. Why wouldn't they burn Hillary?
But we didn't see it, so we're gonna
But
have
she
to
took
see.
off.
oh no, I think she's gonna be out
She
there.
already
She's
took
gonna
off once. Yeah, she's out there. She's not dead.
What
But
so we're gonna see more because she's now been activated. So she was living suburban mom, and Shauna kept saying to her,
same
"You
as
can't
Shauna.
like this boring life." Exactly. You can't like this boring life. You hate it. And she's like, "No, I really love it. I love my child. I love my wife. My life is boring. I go to the bank. I go get gas, and I'm happy." But then at the very end, when Van says, like, "Why can't I be this and do a killing?" and Hillary kills her and says, "I do want to
No,
be like
I do
this."
want to be like this.
She is
I
now
don't wanna be boring.
activated.
Shauna
I
keeps
Yeah, she's
don't
calling
want
her
that
activated.
boring life.
She
I
goes
want to
off
be
for
a
her own
cutthroat
spin-off series where
killer.
she's a
So
serial killer.
she's gonna go. She's now turned on into that killer mode. So she's gonna go
Agreed.
do something.
I
Maybe
Maybe
she'll
think
go
she'll
after
kill
Shauna.
I
Maybe
think that
she'll go
Melissa
after
will go
Shauna.
after Shauna. I think that Misty and Ty will also go after Shauna. And I think at one point, Misty and Ty are going to have a conversation where it's like, what's she do? What? Okay. And we need to join forces.
We're
and
going
that'll
after
happen.
Shauna.
Right.
You're
That'll
going
happen
after
at some
Shauna?
point. That'll be like your little comedy of
Melissa
errors that
killed
always happens in
Van,
these crime scenes.
the love of Ty's life. I don't think there's any world in which they match up.
Who?
But it could be three forces.
Who? Who's the love of Ty?
Melissa killed Van, the love of Ty's life.
Ty, I don't know if she's going to go hunting for Melissa, but if she gets the chance to kill Melissa
Yeah, I
to
just don't think they're
avenge,
gonna. Yeah, I don't
she
think they're
blames
gonna.
Shauna right now because she
I hope
feels like
Ty dies first because I find her deeply uninteresting and always have. I like Teenage Ty. Teenage Ty is fantastic and amazing. And Adult Ty, nothing to do with the actress, but Adult Ty is like meh.
We have a lot
Adult
of
Ty has
potential with
had
that storyline.
occasionally
lot
has
of
a funny
potential.
line, and she like occasionally has a funny line, and I'm like, her and Misty could actually be very fun to watch together.
Let's hope
So
Maybe we need Misty to activate
I'm
her.
hoping that she can
Oh!
activate her and make her funny.
How
Ty.
much did we love the scene when they were all texting each other in the car?
Yes, in the
in the
car.
car,
The
that was
children
great.
Totally did it.
Yeah, that
We
was
need to get out of
great.
this car.
That was really
That was
good.
absolutely fantastic.
Sometimes the
Yes,
show
brilliant.
hits it with the comedy. I
Yeah.
do
But
think
then
sometimes.
in the wilderness, I think they're gonna get rescued next season, definitely. And I think
They better.
earlier than a lot of people that we've had on. I think
Yeah.
I do
Just
think
straight up,
that's the
we've had
last
enough wilderness. We've had enough.
Yeah. I think it's the last
and
one.
But
it's
so
gonna be like
Hannah
the end
still
of
has to die, Sarah. So
Hannah has
we're
to
assuming
die.
Hannah has to die before they get rescued.
No, we
She
don't.
might run off
Because
into the woods.
Shauna does something bad when they get back. They reference it multiple
but
times.
she's missing. All three of them are missing. In the present time, nobody knows where the Froggers are.
That's right.
They're
She's
all
never
missing.
come back. So she does have
she
to
doesn't
die.
come back. Yeah.
So
Who again,
pushes her off the
Carol.
mountain?
I think she runs and something. Accident. Maybe the wilderness just takes her.
Did you hear
Might be.
Katie's theory that they were about to get rescued, but then she gets like a staph infection from a cut?
I do. I think
I
it's
love
just
that.
an
I
accident.
think that
I think we're
it's just
due
an
for
accident.
just an accident.
But then you can have the rescuers find her body because you can say she had a staph infection.
Right. No,
Unless
that's
they're
true. They
scared.
have
She wouldn't be
Unless they're
missing.
scared.
They have
They have
to-
to actually kill her.
well, they can't. Yeah, they have to kill her and then get rid of
But
the body because
she
they
goes
don't want
to where Crystal is.
anyone to know the Froggers ever found them. So
Well, they're going to know because that's how they contacted. They have the sat phone, right? That's
maybe
how
they
they
just
contact
maybe they
rescue.
just found the sat phone, but the Froggers were
They
already
found the empty
like
camp.
dead.
Yeah, they found the empty
So
camp. Yeah.
That's
I hope
that's a
that
great one.
most of
they're
the
gonna have to get rid
season-
of Joel McHale's head with all the spikes in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
can't
I
let that
hope
be
that most
found.
of the season is post-rescue teen girls, because that
Yeah.
scene, one of my favorite scenes that's stuck with me, is the four of them adults turning up at the reunion. It was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I really would like to see this integration, lack of integration, talk therapy, no talk therapy. If they go to talk therapy, they can't talk about it. So what are they going to say?
Right.
Shutting down, acting out, going to work in a supermarket.
Right.
I
I want to
I
see all of that.
do also think that
Young
Hillary
Jeff.
Yeah, I
Young
think that
Jeff.
Hillary Swank is going to remain a big part of it because if you remember, the numbers when we start are the 4 of them going to the reunion. Then last
Mhm.
season we're introduced to Lottie and Van. Very quickly, Natalie dies, so we have 5, and then this season they got rid of 2 again. So we're back at 4 with Melissa in the picture,
With
and I think they
Melissa.
like it at 4. I
Well,
think they like it at 4 survivors ish is my guess.
yeah. Teenage Melissa can be a big part of season 4 if she wants to, because we know she's not dead.
Yeah, I think so. I think she's interesting too because she's turned on Shauna in the wilderness as well, which is
Mhm.
it's going to be curious.
I was annoyed about the backwards hat too, Kimberly.
I
Let me
hate
figure
that.
out who she is. You don't have to give me the backwards hat.
Oh,
They
the minute
just
she
really
wakes
felt.
Because
I mean, she was one of those random girls, and we only recognize her with the backwards hat. But we got it by the time they did
Yeah.
that. We understood who she was. We didn't need that.
yes.
She's
So
the
in the
only
kitchen,
blonde.
we could also be confused until she recognizes Shauna
Shauna
and we go,
says,
who on earth is it? And she just says her name, Melissa.
Yeah.
Because I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
if you were going to fake your own death, one thing you would not do is continue to
Is
wear your signature.
"Wear your
backwards hat.
token signature piece." It's like if
Yeah,
Sally
exactly.
Jesse Raphael tries to fake her own death, she's not going to keep wearing the red glasses.
Exactly. She's going to leave them
We
perched
got to get you
on the
another one.
pile of clothes on the
You have to like
on the.
bury those along with your dead self.
Mm.
You know?
No, you perch it on the perfectly folded clothes on the pebbly
Yes.
beach
Yes.
that you've walked
That's
into the
exactly.
water.
There, that's it. Thank you
so much,
much
Sarah.
for coming on.
Oh,
We
my
have got
Everyone,
to
pleasure.
log
Thank you
off.
for asking me.
subscribe to Crime Scene podcast with the SEEN.
Immediately.
Sarah and Mari are fabulous and dissect
Thank you.
crime documentaries and shows, true crime stuff.
They
and
cover all the
do a great
stuff
job.
that you're watching and talking about.
And
Yeah.
if you're interested in Karen Reed, Katie came on and talked with Rebecca and
That was a great
us
episode.
about-
I learned a lot.
Thank you very much. So
Mhm.
Kimberly,
I did.
you have to come on again.
I don't know
Sometimes we
anything
have
about
them
the case,
together.
but I'll come on
No,
something
well,
else.
something else. Yeah.
Something else. Yeah.
Diamond heist. Do you want to come on and talk about a diamond heist?
Sure. No,
Oh,
that sounds like
diamond
Katie's.
heist. I'm so sorry.
No, Katie.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Katie does.
Any
She has
heist.
an
Any
ownership
heist.
of any heist.
I'm the
Yeah.
heist one. Yeah, heists
We'll
are my
figure
favorite.
something out. We'll figure
I
something out.
love-
Pas de
I
vent
love
les enfants.
Love them. But thank you everyone for joining us for this live
Bye,
stream.
Sarah.
It's
We
been-
appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. We appreciate you. Thank you. Subscribe to our podcast, A Date with Dateline. Thank you, everybody.
And we'll see you next year,
Bye.
Yellowjackets. Bye.
Bye, everybody.